from Jacksonville, Florida. It's the 36th annual Gator Bowl with the number 3 ranked Pittsburgh Panthers taking on the number 18 ranked South Carolina Gamecocks. The nation's top running back facing the nation's best defensive unit. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette, Monza, Citation, and the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. And by Prudential for life, health, auto, or home insurance. When you think about your financial security, see a Prudential agent. Get a piece of the rock, Prudential Insurance. Jacksonville, Florida, northeast corner of the state. Magnificent sight from the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise. As you look down, 70,000 filling this venerable old bowl. And tonight, they'll be looking on a great individual matchup and a good matchup, two of the country's finest teams. It is unseasonably chilly in Florida this time of year. The game time temperature, 56 degrees. Yesterday, the high temperature was only in the 40s. The wind is diminishing. Moments ago, coming in from the west at 15 miles an hour. They'll play on natural grass tonight with a slight chance of rain, but the field in very good shape. Hello again, everybody. I'm Al Michaels, and this is a bowl promoter's dream. You've got the fellas who finished 1 and 2 in the Heisman balloting, not only in the same game, but on the field at the same time. Rogers for South Carolina, Green for Pittsburgh. Also, it is a game of particular significance for the Pittsburgh Panthers. They have lost once this season, but they still have a pretty decent shot at winning the national championship. They are currently ranked 3rd. For them to finish number 1, the following would have to take place. Number 1, they'd have to, of course, win here tonight, and they are favored. Number 2, Thursday in the Sugar Bowl, a game you will see on ABC from New Orleans. Number 1 ranked Georgia would have to lose to Notre Dame. That game is rated just about a toss-up. Then New Year's night in the Orange Bowl in Miami, 2nd-ranked Florida State would have to lose to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is favored to beat the Seminoles in that one. So certainly not a pipe dream for Jackie Sherrill and the Pittsburgh Panthers as they come onto the surface at the Gator Bowl. A look at their record. They began with 4 consecutive wins. Their only loss of the season to Florida State in Tallahassee, 36-22. They bounced back from that and won 6 straight games, and as you can see, scored a lot of points in the process. Capped their season, the regular season, by defeating Penn State. The final score was 14-9. And here come the Gamecocks of South Carolina, a team that, as you can see, lost to Southern Cal, but came back to beat Michigan and Bo Schembechler 17-14. Then they lost a tough one to Georgia, 13-10, and went into their final regular season game with a mark of 8-2, bowing to Clemson in an upset, winding up the regular season with a mark of 8 wins and 3 defeats. Pitt and South Carolina delighted to be joined tonight by the recent inductee to the College Football Hall of Fame, Ara Farsegian. Ara, when you take a look at the matchup tonight, you know you've got Rogers and a great running attack for South Carolina, but he's going up against the nation's best defense. Can the Gamecocks afford to sit back and say, let George do it all?
Well, there's no question the reason the Gamecocks are here is because of their running game. Ranked number 4th nationally, 300 yards a game. They've been terrific. But I know that Jimmy Carlin knows that there's going to be, coach of South Carolina, there's going to be 8- and 9-man fronts that Pittsburgh will be throwing at him. Gary Harper, the South Carolina quarterback, absolutely must complete some passes to reduce those defenses. Now, the prospects for that are not easy because he's going to be going against the number 1 defensive team in the nation, a team that's only given up 65 yards per game. The matchups everybody is talking about, of course, is George Rogers and Hugh Green. But Jimmy Carlin, the coach of South Carolina, says the real matchup is number 47, his tight end, Willie Scott, 6'5", 250, a real football player, and he figures that Green will be over Scott a number of times tonight. He actually is going to audibilize right at Green tonight, so we're going to find out early just how good the two of them are.
So that'll be strength against strength. On the other side of the coin now, you've got the Pitt offense, basically a passing attack against a relatively suspect South Carolina secondary.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a great passing game. Turcano and Marino have passed for 25 touchdowns. They go 275 yards a game, but you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line led by Mark May. A great offensive line. They've only given up 8 sacks and 378 pass attempts. And it's going to be a big challenge for South Carolina. They have lost Perlot, their free safety. They've lost. They had to bring another guy in at left corner. And they've had trouble in the defensive secondary where they've given up 175 yards a game.
Emotionally, would Pitt have any advantage in light of the fact they are going for a possible national championship?
Well, talking to both coaches, both teams are going to be up. I think Jackie Sherrill said it well. I really believe that Pittsburgh has more to lose. They're ranked number 3. They're still in the hunt, as you pointed out, for the national championship. But South Carolina's got the Heisman Trophy winner out there, and that offensive line is going to go to show why he got that award. And South Carolina has never won a bowl game, so you can see the challenge there.
Our ABC colleague, former Oklahoma quarterback Steve Davis, will be working the sidelines tonight. Let's get a report from the field. Steve?
South Carolina quarterback may be a little bit more prominent figure than most people figured. The reason is Coach Carlin, right before the football game, told us that he anticipated an 8-man front from Pittsburgh, and if Pittsburgh gave him an 8-man front, then he would ask Gary Harper, senior quarterback, to throw the football. If he was ineffective in throwing the ball, then very early in the football game, it was Coach Carlin that said probably Gordon Beckham, the sophomore, that has only thrown 17 passes in 1980, probably would get the nod in the football game. So the quarterbacks may have more to do with this football game than George Rogers or Hugh Green. Al?
All right, thank you, Steve. So I can imagine that the heart of one Mr. Beckham, who's thrown only 17 passes, is beating rather rapidly at this point as you take a look at tonight's officials. Robert Carpenter will be the referee, and the men he will be working with from the ACC. The Gator Bowl is full. 70,000 tickets have been sold. I would say if there is partisanship in one sense here, it would be in favor of South Carolina, probably because of the proximity. It is certainly a lot closer to Jacksonville, is Columbia, South Carolina, than would be Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So the Gamecock contingent has come down in force. South Carolina making its first appearance in the Gator Bowl since 1945, the first year of the Gator Bowl. Pitt was here in 1977. They paid their last visit then, beat Clemson. Matt Cavanaugh had a tremendous night, threw for 4 touchdowns. So the Panthers to kick off, South Carolina to receive. The man in the middle for South Carolina is Horace Smith. And Dave Trout to kick off for the Panthers. Trout will be kicking with what was a wind of about 15 miles an hour just 10 or 15 minutes ago, but has died down now. The flags are lit, and here we go. A low line drive kick toward the corner, taken at the 2-yard line by Carl West. To the 20 and out to the 22-yard line, where South Carolina takes over offensively. Gary Harper, the quarterback. And Gary, the key man, as Steve Davis pointed out. Johnny Wright will be the fullback, George Rogers the tailback. They normally line up in the eye, occasionally split backs. Gillespie and Horace Smith, who was the middleman on the kickoff return, will alternate at wide receiver. They are the messengers as Carlin sends in the plays from the bench. South Carolina, if you have not seen the Gamecocks before, most of the time operate out of a 2 tight end formation, and they think Willie Scott is the best in the country at that spot, number 47. First and 10, Carolina from the 22-yard line. That's Gillespie in motion. Rogers the tailback, and they give it to George right away, and he loses the ball at the 29-yard line, and the Pitt Panthers, let's see, have recovered. The Pitt Panthers with Tom Flynn, number 5, the free safety, recovering. So a most inauspicious beginning for the Heisman Trophy winner.
There was a lot of penetration here. It looks like Neal, I believe. No, it was Jackson. The linebacker blitzed, got a lot of penetration, but unfortunately for South Carolina, Rogers fumbles the ball. A tough break for the Gamecocks in the early going.
So the Pitt Panthers in business at the Gamecock 29-yard line with Rick Trocano at quarterback. Artrell Hawkins getting the start at one running back spot, number 12. And they give it to the other running back, that's McMillan. They had Hawkins in the slot, and McMillan is stopped by Ed Baxley, the linebacker, number 50. Pitt with Trocano, who started the season at free safety. Joe McCall will see some action. He is not in there, however, right now. McMillan was the sole running back in that set, with Dwight Collins at a flanker spot, number 32. A freshman, Willie Collier, the senior split end. They have Hawkins in the slot as you look at Jackie Sherrill in his 4th season at Pitt. 38-8-1, his record. 2nd down and 8. Hawkins in motion, and Trocano with a drop. And a screen to the near side to the 32. It's McMillan. He gets inside the 25 and tackled at the 22-yard line. Again, it is Ed Baxley making the stop. Up front, they are massive. Jimbo Covert, a sophomore. Robert Thaden, number 64, weighs in at 245. Russ Grimm, 270-pounder, was a high school and quarterback. Emil Boris at 266. Mark May, the Outland Award winner. the best interior lineman in the country, and Benji Pryor, an excellent tight end who could go in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft. Third down, 4. The Panthers at the 23-yard line. Jim Carlin, the South Carolina head coach. They put Pryor now in the slot to the left with McMillan the sole running back, and Benji goes in motion. On 3rd and 4, Trapano to throw it. Good protection. Has a man at the 15-yard line. It is Benji Pryor. He is pushed back but has the first down. Ed Baxley again in on the tackle. He's made 3. Defensively, Ellis, Province, Weaver, Allen, and Henderson. No real standouts, but they are solid and consistent. You've seen already what Baxley can do. Gator led the team in tackles. The secondary is a bit suspect. As Ara pointed out, they are missing their key man, Perlotte, who was injured about a month and a half ago. And as a consequence, teams have been able to pass on the Gamecocks. First down at the 16-yard line.
Looks like he's audibleizing.
Pitt, out of a 2 tight end setup, a flag is thrown, and the pass out to the 12-yard line to Mike Dombrowski, the other tight end who was aligned opposite Pryor, but a marker down after Mark Bridges had made the tackle. So our first flag of the night. And it's a procedure call against the Panthers. As you look over the shoulder of Jackie Sherrill, his first head coaching experience was at Washington State in 1976 after he had served as an assistant to Johnny Majors both at Pitt and at Iowa State. And he's a man who took over, in essence, for a legend in that Majors had led the Panthers to their last national championship. Let's get the call.
Illegal procedure. Why? Too many men in the backfield.
Too many men in the backfield as they had lined up in a double tight end set.
Now they're giving them formation distortion. The wide double wing is the thing that they want to use to look at the strong safety and key off of him and throw away from him.
First down from the 21-yard line. It's Trapano. Throws to the end zone and no good. Intended for Willie Collier. Decided to do a juggling act as he was covered by Mark Bridges on the near side.
Trapano put it right on the numbers there. Collier just dropped the ball, one of the great receivers.
Defensive play by Bridges.
Willie Collier.
Let's go to Big D. Come on now.
Caught 32 this season.
He had 6 touchdowns. That would have been his 7th if he hadn't dropped the ball.
Second down, 15 from the 21-yard line. No score, early first quarter. The Panthers trying to capitalize on the George Rogers fumble. Pryor in motion, and Trapano with a straight drop, and then running inside the 15, gets to the 12-yard line. He's very mobile. Emmanuel Weaver made the tackle.
There's no question it was a quarterback draw. He came right back to the pocket, let the rush develop, and he found a big hole in there. Pre-planned and obviously as a result of studying film in preparation for the game.
Third down and 7. The Pitt Panthers at the South Carolina 13-yard line. Again, they go with 2 tight ends. The sole running back is Randy McMillan, who's a good one, number 40. And too much time. Flags have been dropped before the inception of the play. It's McMillan who gets into the end zone for the touchdown, but too much time. The flags had been dropped before the snap. The play had been blown dead. And the penalty, of course, will be against the Panthers.
And the South Carolina defenders, hearing the whistle, actually had stopped. It would not have been a score. It would have been a draw play for a few yards. But it's a little misleading. Of course, the whole thing is set back because of the penalty.
Second penalty against the Panthers.
Delay of game. Why? Still third down.
Second penalty against Pitt on this drive. You know, Aaron, we saw Jackie Sherrill questioning the call before with too many men in the backfield. How do you have too many men in the backfield with a double tight end setup?
Well, I think he might have called it he wasn't up on the line of scrimmage.
The only way you could.
Yes. It didn't appear that way from here.
Third down and 12. Trapano throwing for Collier. Has him, and he's bumped out of bounds at the 1-yard line by Bridges.
A beautiful throw by Trapano. It was well defended.
So Collier will go over for a new jersey as we see the play again.
He fights to the outside. You can't see right here, but Trapano puts it right in there between the defenders. Watch him try to delay Collier here. Shoving him out of bounds, number 29 Thomas. He gets right behind him before the deep defender can come over, which is number 20 Mark Bridges. He has got a first down at the 1-yard line.
Now they come up in the eye with McMillan the fullback and Archwell Hawkins the tailback. Send Hawkins in motion on 1st and goal. Give it to McMillan. He's bunched up and pushed back. If you saw the South Carolina-Georgia game, you know how tough South Carolina is down deep.
We recall that game. They did a terrific job. Gator was in there again. He played a sensational game against Georgia. He's the leading tackler also with 106 involvements this year.
Ball spotted inside the 1. 2nd down goal. 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. First quarter.
Well, in the early going here, I've been very much impressed with Fricano's throwing. He has been on target. And the formation distortion has created problems for South Carolina. It's a tough place to try to adjust after a turnover.
2nd down, goal. Fricano to do it himself. And he's in. So the Pitt Panthers, with Fricano going in right behind Russ Grimm, number 56, the center. And the Panthers capitalizing on the fumble by Rogers, moving in from the South Carolina 29 to go on top 6-0.
Well, the turnover was a key. I'll say this, South Carolina did make them go the hard way. Didn't give it easy. Of course, they were helped by 2 key penalties. But as I said earlier, that Fricano can throw the football.
Dave Trout to try the point after. Dan Daniels, one of the backup quarterbacks, number 7, will do the holding. So the Panthers on top 6-0, and Trout makes it 7-0. 10 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, with the Panthers driving in for the score and leading 7-0. The fumble by Rogers. The Panthers going in 29 yards, took them 7 plays, and they were set back twice with 5-yard penalties. Took them 3:52 to do it, and they lead 7-0. Dave Trout to kick off again. As you look at Rick Fricano. Fricano, the starting quarterback as a sophomore and as a junior until he was hurt last year. Dan Marino took over. And then this year started the season at free safety and then came back to the offense when Marino was hurt. West coming out to the 19 with it. And South Carolina will start its next set from there. 1st and 10. As you look at the men up front, they've got Ben Cornett anchoring the line on the left side. Chuck Slaughter is a good one. Joe Doyle out of Wilmington, North Carolina, 6'3", 240-pounder. Mark Austin out of Union, South Carolina. Steve Gattell making an appearance in his home state. Schechter Lee is from Pennsylvania. And Willie Scott, who Carlin contends is the best tight end in the country. And he has great hands. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Rogers, the tailback, sweeps to the right, and George gets it out to the 26-yard line. Tom Flynn, who recovered the fumble by Rogers on the first series, made the stop. The men up front, don't think that Green is a one-man gang. Meisner, Boyarsky, Neal, and Jackson are very, very good. Ricky in particular on the other side. Sinceri and Fidel, the linebackers, with White, Thomas. Williamson is the man to watch in the secondary, and Flynn, number 5, the free safety.
The entire defensive line, the down people are all seniors. Played together for 3 years.
Rogers got 8, 2nd down and 2 from the 27. Give it to George again. And Rogers out past the 30 for a first down, where he stopped by Steve Fidel, number 58.
I think one of the interesting things, the last 2 plays that George Rogers has carried the ball, he has had 9-man fronts to run against, and he's made a first down.
It's as if Jackie Sherrill is saying, we just dare you to pass. Go ahead and try it.
That's right. Now, I think they will go to the air. I think that, as Jimmy Carlin said, he feels that they have to go to reduce those defensive fronts. Here they are again with a 9-man look.
Gillespie in motion, and Harper will go to the air on first down and go deep and incomplete out at the 50-yard line, where Willie Scott, the tight end, got a hand on it. But the Panthers were back there covering. 2nd down and 10. Carlton Williamson and Lynn Thomas in the area for Pittsburgh.
Well, you know, they absolutely have to throw the ball to reduce that defense. It's going to be very tough for George Rogers to run against a 9-man front all night. And it's here's Green and Rogers, the Heisman Trophy winner, the runner-up. Here comes Green through. Look at Rogers fight him off right here. There's two great athletes. Terrific shot.
Second down, 10 from the 31-yard line. Pitt leading 7-0. The up man, Wright, gets out to the 49-yard line. Johnny Wright, stopped by Carlton Williamson.
You remember what Jackie Sherrill said yesterday? He said, you know, they keep throwing the ball to Rogers, giving it to Rogers, and the next thing you know, boom, they give it to Wright, and he pops through there. They're looking for Rogers. Boyarski is blocked right there by the center, Mark Austin. Run right by Green right here. And here he comes, a good football player, this Johnny Wright. 86 carries for 458 yards. Been in the end zone 3 times.
Out to the 48. First and 10, South Carolina. Off a quick count. Rogers gets into Panther territory. Tackled at the 49-yard line by Ricky Jackson, 87, and Steve Fidel, 58. George Rogers, there are his numbers for the season. They're even more impressive when you think about the fact that Rogers did not play the second half of 3 separate games this season. The Gamecocks blew out 3 opponents, and Jim Carlin, not wanting to risk injury and not wanting to run up the score, had Rogers on the bench for a full 90 minutes of action. Otherwise, he probably would have been up over 2,000.
Look at the career average, 5.5. I tell you, he's a great runner.
Second down and 7 from the 49-yard line. The fake to Rogers. The pass out to the 45-yard line to Willie Scott. And he gets close to a first down to the 43, where Lynn Thomas makes the tackle.
Lynn Thomas is a great football player. He's only 6 foot 182. Can you imagine the challenge he had trying to tackle Willie Scott, 6'5", 250? Not the easiest chore in the world.
They'll measure. Harper showed a lot of poise that time. He was under heavy pressure going back to throw, but found his man.
Got the ball up just in time.
Bill Neal was the man applying the pressure. You can see they are just shy of picking up the first down. So it's third down and that much, and you would think it's going to go to Rogers. Rogers is the type of back, and we've seen them through the years, like an Earl Campbell. It doesn't look like he's getting a lot of yardage, and then you look up and he's picked up 5.
He's a franchise in himself.
Third and a couple of inches, and Harper will try it himself. Harper moving over his center, Austin, as they take a look at the chain now. Referee Carpenter lining it up, and it's a first down for South Carolina. There's Pitt defensively, how they rank. #1 total defense, #1 against the rush, giving up only 11.6 points per game, which is remarkable considering the fact that Florida State in one game alone scored 36 against the Panthers on a night when Pitt made a lot of mistakes.
A lot of turnovers that night.
Smith in motion and coming the other way now on first down from the 42, and they give it to George, and he takes it to the 40-yard line where he runs into Sal Sinceri, number 66.
Well, you don't get 300 yards a game and rank #4 nationally. That's South Carolina's running game without a great offensive line, and they have 2 great tackles in there, Slaughter at left tackle and Shuckerly. And, of course, Cattell and Doyle have done a great job, along with the center, Mark Austin.
Rogers has carried 5 times for 24 yards. Second down and 8 from the Panther 40. Rogers tries to cut inside and gets upended at the 43-yard line as Meisner, number 86, sliced through along with Carlton Williamson, number 48.
Here's that matchup we talked about. There's number 47, Willie Scott, blocking on Green. I'll tell you, he's a massive man. He's doing a great job on him, but Meisner he's doing a super job. Excellent job by Scott. But Meisner came right through number 86, made a great play.
That's the type of replay you don't see very often with Hugh Green.
That's right.
Man who's been marvelously consistent since his freshman season. Third down, 11 from the 43-yard line. Harper under pressure again, throwing, tipped, and incomplete. Intended again for Willie Scott, number 47, and Green putting a lot of pressure on that time.
Let's take a look and see why he is everybody's All-American. He comes right back after being blocked, putting a lot of heat on the passer. Harper right by number 36, who is Wright, Johnny Wright, trying to block him, and he gets to the passer Harper and knocks him down. Great comeback by the All-American.
So Green, after getting taken out, makes Harper pay the price, and Chris Norman averaging just over 40 yards a kick. A wobbly kick and a short kick, and a fair catch is called for and made up at the 21-yard line by Troy Hill. 22-yard punt, 6:21 to go in the period, 7-0 Panthers. Looking down on the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. This town really alive tonight from our Goodyear Blimp Enterprise. Temperature in the low 50s. The Pitt Panthers with the ball and a 7-0 lead with 6:21 to go in the first quarter. First and 10 from the 22. Tricano keeping, turns it up and goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Run out there by Chuck Allen, number 74.
Chuck Allen's a good football player. But the thing about that play was that a predetermined run on the part of Tricano. He's a good runner. They used that same play against Penn State with some success 3 or 4 weeks ago.
George Rogers on the South Carolina bench. They've limited him to 3.5 yards a carry thus far. The Panthers capitalizing on Rogers' early fumble for their touchdown. Have it second down, 4 at the 27. Tricano on a roll. And Rick throwing to the far side and complete out at the 39-yard line to Collins. The freshman wide receiver, Chuck Finney, sophomore out of Miami, Florida, makes the stop.
Well, this is a great football player. He's got tremendous speed. 4.38 in the 40, 21.8 in the 220. Here he just runs a turnout. You've got to give him a lot of cushion. This is the freshman, Chuck Finney, coming up, forced into the ball game because of injury. Skipper moved over to free safety because Perlott was out. And you got to give him that kind of distance. I tell you, a freshman giving a guy like, first Dwight Collins is a freshman, but he can fly.
First down Panthers at their own 39-yard line. This is something they'll do from time to time. If you saw the Penn State game, lining up in the shotgun, Tricano rolling to his left and throwing well short. Intended for Dwight Collins, who was covered well on the play by Mark Bridges, number 20. So it'll be second down and 10.
They take the sweep as a right off of it, and Tricano came with a one-on-one coverage to the wideout.
We've talked about Pitt's defense, as you can see, on offense this season. Setting record, yards passing, average yards passing per game. Dan Marino, of course, who started the season as quarterback, an outstanding passer, just a sophomore, but hurt, shelved by a knee injury. And then Tricano came back from the secondary to take over. Marino, by the way, is available, is relatively healthy, could play tonight. But Ricky has the job back. Second down and 10 from the 39. Tricano with a lot of protection for Hawkins, but incomplete on the far side at the 44-yard line.
The pass protection has been terrific. Here you see Emmanuel Weaver, number 52, the nose man for South Carolina. You see him being double-teamed here by number 64, Bob Feda, and the center, Russ Grimm, who came to the University of Pittsburgh at 212, now weighs 270. He was a quarterback, now playing the nose man. Take a look at the block on the Emmanuel Weaver. He is handled. That's why there's only been 8 sacks in 11 games.
Third down and 10. The Panthers from their own 39-yard line, sending Hawkins in motion, and Tricano on a roll. Under pressure this time, and incomplete. Might have been tipped. Chuck Allen got a hand on it, number 74, the on-rushing defensive lineman. And so the Gamecocks, after yielding a first down, hold, and the Panthers to kick.
Would you believe that Chuck Allen has had 7 pass deflections during the course of the year? That's his 8th. He gets his hands up when he rushes the passer, exactly what you're supposed to do.
So the Panthers to boot it away. Dave Kepler, who's been off and on this season as a punter, averaging 37 yards a kick. Troy Thomas back deep. The rush is on. Kepler gets it away. A low line drive kick that takes a good Pitt bounce. And South Carolina will be pinned deep, to be precise, at their own 10. Gamecocks will start from there. 5:17 to go in the first period. Pitt 7, South Carolina nothing. The Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. The 36th Gator Bowl. All began in 1945. South Carolina was here but lost to Wake Forest. 1st and 10. The Gamecocks from their own 10-yard line. Pitt leading 7-0 late first quarter. Rogers bunched up Sal Sinceri, number 66, pushing him back. Coming up, of course, on Thursday, New Year's Day from New Orleans, the Sugar Bowl. Can Georgia maintain its #1 ranking? Georgia unbeaten against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in a game that many regard as a toss-up. The Irish coming in number 7. It begins at 2 o'clock Eastern time, Thursday, the Sugar Bowl. 2nd down, 8. South Carolina from its own 12. Pitch to Rogers, back of Wright's block, and George puts his head down and gets out to close to the 19-yard line. About 1.5 yards shy of a first down. 3rd down upcoming.
A tough field position to work in. I'm talking about South Carolina, obviously. And they're not a big play offense. They're a team that grinds it out, and they've got to work for their field position. So when that ball took a favorable bounce for Pittsburgh on the punt, it really put them in a hole down here.
Jim Carlin, 101 career wins. He's been at West Virginia, Texas Tech, and now in his 6th season at South Carolina, where he also serves as the athletic director. 3rd down, call it 2 from the 18. Right in motion, pitch it to Rogers on a sweep, and he's tripped up in the backfield by Ricky Jackson, number 87. The other end. So much is said and written about Hugh Green, you tend to forget about 87 Jackson.
And don't forget about him, a terrific football player, #1 tackler on this team. You see him fight off Cornette, who's trying to block him. He keeps fighting to the outside. Rogers trying to get the outside with motion to this side. There's Jackson, gets penetration, trips him up with his right arm. Great football player.
Chris Norman to kick as he stands at his own 1-yard line. His last kick was 21 yards. The pressure's on, but he booms this one out toward midfield. At the 45-yard line, it's Flynn, who should have called for a fair catch, and is lucky he didn't lose the ball, and a marker is down as he gets back to the 37. Penalty should be against South Carolina, interfering with Flynn. But there was a flag down, but it's been picked up. There is no penalty. And Pitt will have it at the 37-yard line. So no penalty on the play after a punt.
And Chris Norman has not gotten off 2 very good punts in his first 2 attempts. That one was for 28 yards. And the man has been averaging 40.6 with no blocks. That's not off to a good night, and field position is very important.
When it left his foot, looked like it had a little bit more distance.
Looked like it was spinning backwards. It looked like it got, instead of rolling over, it just backed off.
The Panthers at the 37-yard line in good field position. Again, Pittsburgh ranked #3 in the country. In some polls, they were ranked on top. Sports Illustrated had Pitt favored to win the national championship this season. Had a fine year in '79, and almost everybody returned. It is a senior-dominated team. On 1st down from the 37-yard line, Artrell Hawkins has a hole inside the 30, inside the 25, gets to the 21-yard line. The ball comes loose, but the play had been blown dead. Hal Henderson, number 81, the defensive end, made the stop.
Good running by Artrell Hawkins. Also, he gets great blocking. And look at that hole in there, opened up by the line. He does fumble the ball as he hits the ground right there, but he actually gets it back. Let's take a look at the double team here by Fada again, and Grimm. Look at him run Weaver out of there. And, of course, Hawkins cuts back against that. Great blocking by Pittsburgh.
1st down Pitt at the 21-yard line. Fricano rolling and protected well, but throwing out of bounds, intended for Willie Collier. 2nd down and 10. 2 minutes, 39 seconds to play in the first quarter. The Panthers on top 7-0.
One of the problems that Pittsburgh has had through the year has been an abnormally high number of turnovers, about 4.5 per game. And when they play perfect, you know, they still won 10-ball games, and that's a lot of turnovers. And if they avoid them, they're really tough to stop.
Extremely unusual to have that many. Of course, the offensive line, as you can see there, protecting Tricano well tonight, as they have done all season with both Tricano and Marino. Fake draw on 2nd and 10. Tricano with a lot of time. To Pryor at the 11-yard line, and he is pushed back. Benji Pryor, number 84. His forward progress will have him relatively close to a first down. They'll put it at the 14.
I'll tell you, this Pryor is a great player. He made some great catches in the Penn State game. Here he is just running this straight down and coming across. He's wide open right there. You see Pat Bowen covering number 25, and they get the ball to him late. Tricano could have thrown the ball earlier. Walt Gator comes in and is helped by Bowen. And finally get him down with Mark Bridges.
They put it back at the 14-yard line. 3rd down and 3. And a flag is thrown before the snap. Panthers have already been penalized on 2 occasions. Once for illegal procedure, once for delay of the game.
That's the 3rd time in 4-down area.
White, still 3rd down.
Excuse me. The 3rd time in 4-down area that they've had penalties. You just can't afford those.
Their 2nd delay penalty of the night. It's 3rd down, 8 from the 19-yard line. Pittsburgh trying to capitalize on good field position after the short kick. 3rd and 8 from the 19-yard line. McMillan, the sole running back. Collins and Collier both split to the left. They're kind of looking that way, then rolling the other way, but still looking left and throwing into the end zone and nearly intercepted. Number 20, Mark Bridges, had it but couldn't hold it on a pass intended for Willie Collier.
They made a great play. Mark Bridges did a great job on that, saving a score. And Tricano also can throw that ball. Here's Collier, receiver of 32 catches this year, 537 yards. Now he sees Tricano roll away from him, so he starts working across the end zone. Bridges is staying right with him, comes in front of him right here, and could very well have intercepted this ball. Makes a great attempt.
Dave Trout now with a 36-yard field goal attempt, and it's perfect. So Trout adds 3 more. The Panthers cashing in with a field goal. 1:11 to go, first quarter in the Gator Bowl. Pitt 10 and South Carolina nothing. In the Gator Bowl, Pitt leading South Carolina 10-0 with 1:11 remaining in the first quarter. Dave Trout kicking off for the Panthers. Horace Smith, the middleman, back deep for South Carolina. The kick in the direction of Smith, who fields a yard in. Out to the 5, the 10, has some room to the 20. Smith across the 25 and the 30, and dropped at the 31-yard line by Terry White. Coming up, January 10th, the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports, the Hula Bowl from Honolulu. A game that features many of the great collegiate football stars, the seniors, culminating their careers in Honolulu. In that game, interestingly enough, it'll be Green and Rogers again, but this time they'll be on the same side, both for the East. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Johnny Wright, the fullback, picks up only 1 this time. Wright earlier had a big hole opening for him, but this time Steve Fidel was there to plug it up in the final minute of the first quarter. And South Carolina operating without a huddle. Cats sit napping, but now a long count on 2nd down and 9. And they pitch it to Rogers. Now past the 35 to 40, and he nearly broke it as he tackled at the 43 by Tom Flynn.
Former quarterback Flynn is freshman from Verona. Here's just a pitch sweep, and they get good blocking on it. Rogers gets to the scene, does a great job. Johnny Wright gets a lead block right here, number 36 coming here on Flynn, and Flynn throws his body in there and stops the play.
1st and 10 from the 43-yard line for South Carolina. They give it to Rogers again, through the middle this time, but bunched up by Jerry Boyarsky, number 68, amongst others. And it will be 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, Boyarsky came to Pittsburgh at 230. He is now 6'3", 284.
Again, South Carolina up to the line quickly. 2nd down and 8, but time may run out, and it does before they get the play off. So the first quarter is over. South Carolina operating without a huddle, but a long count. So the first period goes into the books with the Panthers leading 10-0. We go to the second quarter. The Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, 70,000 looking on as South Carolina comes up to its own 45-yard line. Second down, 8. Pittsburgh leading 10-0. The pitcher to Reeves, who throws to the 50, and it's intercepted there. The Panthers coming up with the ball as Steve Fidel looks to lateral it, and does at the 50-yard line. To Sal Sinceri, the other linebacker, and the Panthers get it on the turnover. Percy Reeves was spelling Rogers at the tailback spot and throws it away.
Well, George Rogers just can't throw the ball. Carlin said he cannot throw the football, and this is bad judgment right here. Percy Reeves came across to throw it. They used him to throw the football, but unfortunately it was bad judgment, and you can see the turnover, how costly it is.
Carlton Williamson putting the pressure on that time on the safety blitz. First down. Panthers at the 50-yard line. Hit ahead, 10-0, and Fricano wasting no time. Look at that protection. Throwing and juggled and incomplete at the 30-yard line, intended for Benji Pryor. Let's check in down on the field with Steve Davis. Steve?
Dave, what's wrong with your ankle?
I got tendonitis. I broke it about a year ago, and it's just reoccurring the injury.
It's not going to affect your kicking tonight, is it?
I hope not.
Okay. Al?
All right, Steve. As Steve Davis visits with Dave Trout, the Pitt place kicker. Fortunately, he is a right-footed place kicker. He'd be in a lot of trouble.
Got to carry the weight on the other one, though. He can't kick with his right without that left.
He's been perfect tonight, though, with an extra point and a field goal. Second down and 10. Panthers from the 50-yard line. Oh, and Hawkins gets smothered. Ray Rooster Jones, rather, number 2. The running back stopped by Emmanuel Weaver, number 52.
Let's take a look at the man that's been double-teamed all night. Weaver straightens up Russ Grimm, drives him right straight back. He's mad about what has happened. One-on-one, he can't handle him. And look at him make the tackle on Hawkins. Now, there's a turnaround after being double-teamed a few times.
Third down and 11.
Well, he just got the respect of Russ Grimm.
Pittsburgh lining up in the power eye and then beginning to shift, and as they do, they've got another marker. And a penalty against the Panthers. And this will be the third delay of game. The third time.
Pushing that 25-second clock, it doesn't seem like it's that long, but maybe they are taking that. They have to be, because the back judge back there is calling it. He's got the clock. The little buzzer on there that goes off, and that's a third one.
Jackie Sherrill wants to take it to the shop tomorrow, I think. Third down and 16 from the 44. Chicano out of the shotgun. Protected well again, throwing over the middle and complete to the 37-yard line to Willie Collier. And that's a first down.
Boy, I'm impressed the way Fricano's throwing that football. Here from the shotgun. Let's watch him. He steps back. He gets great protection again. Weaver can't get in, number 52. He steps right in, and he really hums us in here. And you see Collier picking it off. A great, great job. Then he makes the tackle. All he's doing is running a straight pattern up the field, reading the zone coverage, turns inside, and here's Fricano, and here's Finney making the play, number 27.
So they needed 16 and picked up 18 to the 37-yard line. First and 10. Operating from split backs this time. And down to the 30-yard line goes Hawkins. Hartrell Hawkins, a senior from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Phil Ellis made the stop.
Well, here's the stats in the first half. The first downs are even, as you see. The yards rushing. South Carolina did rush for 60 yards, but Pitt's 31. A total yard 66 to 79, but the most important statistic is on the scoreboard up there. 10 points for Pittsburgh, 0 for South Carolina.
Early second quarter, the Panthers, second down and 3 at the 31-yard line. McMillan fights his way for what should be a first down. Chuck Allen, 74, made the stop. McMillan, fine running back. Jackie Sherrill thinks that he will go very high in the draft.
Well, Al, he runs a 4.5 40, and he's 6'1", 226. Now, he doesn't look that big. I did the Pitt-Penn State game a few weeks ago. I didn't realize that he was that large. 226 is a pretty good load, and he's very quick.
And the Panthers have a first down. Pitt at the South Carolina 27-yard line. The Heisman Trophy winner, George Rogers. And his club trying to get it together early. Shaky beginning. First down from the 27. From the power eye. Trocano keeping inside the 25 and gets to the 21 where he picks up 6. Phil Ellis, number 80, making the tackle. That's the one dimension Trocano can give Pitt that Marino can't. Marino perhaps the better pure passer, but when Trocano's in there, you got to watch for the run.
Oh, he's a great runner, and on top of that, he played 3 games at free safety. Hey, you got to come up and tackle people. He's tough, physically tough.
Second down, 4 from the 21-yard line. McMillan and Hawkins, the running backs. Trocano, a short drop, again protected well, but picked off at the 5-yard line by Troy Thomas. Thomas out past the 10 to the 15 to the 19-yard line.
Oh, they needed that badly.
Oh, did they ever?
They've had 2 poor punts, 2 turnovers, and Pittsburgh was driving again. They needed a turnover like that because you've got to play a near-perfect game to play a team like Pittsburgh.
And they get the break from the freshman from Valdosta, Georgia, Troy Thomas, number 29.
Here it is again. Trocano throws the football. Thomas steps in, makes a big play. He was covered well. The pass was intended for Collier.
Ball at the 19-yard line, first down, South Carolina. Rogers out past the 20, picks up 5. Ricky Jackson, number 87, making the tackle.
I tell you, about 90% of the time, Rogers comes out the other end. He is really a punishing runner. Here they are again without a huddle, but they're making a substitution.
So that enables Pitt to regroup and set up its defense. Second down and 5. With Gillespie in motion, they pitch it to Rogers again. And Rogers backs his way out to the 27-yard line. The Pitt Panthers capitalizing early. If you picked this up late, George Rogers fumbled on the very first play from scrimmage tonight. Pitt able to cash in, go in for the touchdown, adding a field goal late first quarter. Lead 10-0, but South Carolina trying to capitalize on an interception, have it third down and 2 from their own 27-yard line. Rogers looks for the first down, has it, and more. Out to the 35. Tom Flynn makes the stop.
They're using the faster no huddle. Here it is, the replay again. You see Rogers gets good blocking at the line of scrimmage. Number 39, his lead blocker, Carl West, popped through there. But this no huddle is forcing Pittsburgh to stay in one defense, and they can't make adjustments.
Now they've got Rogers out and Reeves in at tailback, number 31 on first down from the 35-yard line, and Harper to put it up. Harper throwing into a crowd and complete out to the 50-yard line to Ben Cornett, the tight end.
Great catch by Cornett. He was hit right there, and a great throw by Harper. Because this doesn't happen to be the long shoot. Here they are again. They have forced Pittsburgh. You see, Pittsburgh is in one defense, and they can't adjust. And here is South Carolina ready to go.
Quickly at the 49-yard line, first and 10.
He's audibleizing now at the line.
Broken play, but Harper turns it into a gain as he gets into Pitt territory to the 46-yard line. Percy Reeves, the man I think he was intending to give the ball to, slipped.
He did.
He started to come out of his eye-back spot.
That's exactly right, Al. He slipped and he couldn't get the ball, couldn't get any traction there.
Rogers getting a breather here with Reeves at tailback, second down and 6. Gillespie in motion, pitch it to Reeves. Percy tries to cut inside and slips down again. Just about gets back to the line of scrimmage. He's cut down there by Jerry Boyarsky, number 68. So South Carolina, again without the huddle.
They're in one formation. Of course, he audibilizes. He looks at the defense. He's running away from the strong safety, Carlton Williams. He reads him, then he goes away from him. Here he audibilized to a pass.
3rd and 7, a deep drop and some pressure, and he throws to the 35-yard line and complete for a first down to Willie Scott.
Here he fights his way out. Here he is, 6'5", 250. Willie Scott, he breaks away from him, and the ball is there. Harper throws the ball in there. It's a little low, but Scott makes a great catch.
There they go without a huddle again.
All right, let's go.
On a very fruitful drive, they have Rogers back in now. They've been moving without George, but he's in again and has the ball. From the 35, he picks up 5 more, getting to the 30, where Ricky Jackson makes the tackle.
This whole thing is unbalanced, the Pittsburgh defense. They can't get set. They can't make their calls because South Carolina is running so rapidly. They come out of one base formation. He'll audibilize at the line which sweep he wants or which pass. You see him talking here to the team.
The entire drive without a huddle. 2nd down and 5. Rogers again to the left side with some blocking. Gets to the 25-yard line, and again it's Ricky Jackson making the tackle. Close to a first down.
Carlin likes it. You can see here. Says, I like it. I like it. Keep it going.
It is a first down for the Gamecocks, who trail 10-0. But on this drive without a huddle, South Carolina moving seemingly at will against the best defensive team in the country and the #1 team against the rush. But now Carolina's going to take a timeout as they move the ball to the Pitt 25-yard line.
Rogers is walking off.
We'll get a report on George when we come back with 8:22 to go in the half. George Rogers has been sidelined on this drive. He was the man that called that last South Carolina timeout. Injury appears to be to his left wrist or forearm. He's on the bench, and they have Todd Berry in, the freshman, at tailback, number 34. On first down, Carolina at the Pitt 25-yard line. Wright, the fullback, decked after a gain of 2.
And could have changed the whole momentum in this drive also, because they really had Pittsburgh off balance, was moving the ball well, or continuing on with a no-huddle offense.
That's Sal Sinceri having trouble getting up. The linebacker, number 66, senior from Pittsburgh, who was in on the stop, making the tackle on Wright. He goes out and replaced by Mark Reichert, number 50.
Here's Sinceri right here. Keep in mind that this South Carolina team has gone against some great teams this fall. Southern California, Georgia, Michigan. They've played some pretty classy teams.
Beat Michigan in Ann Arbor. That's before Bo got everything figured out up there.
That's right. But they came on and had a great second half of their season, particularly defensively.
2nd down and 8. Carolina at the Panther 23-yard line. Harper throwing to Scott, the tight end. Pushed back to the 23-yard line, so it's a minimal gain. And it will be 3rd down. Call it 7.
And they're going to call. They're going back to the huddle this time. It's too important to play. The injury to Rogers, I think, really changed the momentum here a little bit. They've actually called a timeout.
So George continues to get attention, and South Carolina has used another timeout, so they've used 2 of their 3 on this drive. 7:17 to go, first half. Pitt 10, South Carolina nothing.
Had a chance to survey George Rogers' wrist. What it is, it's a chronic injury to his left wrist. They just rewrapped it, untape it, then rewrap it, give him a little bit more flexibility in that left wrist to carry the football. Al?
All right, Steve, thank you. As Rogers, happy to report the injury of no major consequence, and there he is back in the lineup. So George will operate from his familiar tailback spot on 3rd down and 7. South Carolina at the Pitt 22-yard line. Harper going for the end zone for Scott. Incomplete, and where's the flag? We don't see any. There's no flag on what appeared to be, with a naked eye, blatant interference by Carlton Williamson, but no flag.
It looks like he definitely makes contact before the ball gets there. This is number 48, Carlton Williamson, the strong safety. Running here was 6'5", 250 Scott, Willie Scott. Now watch here, the contact from the rear, right there. There's no question the right hand is on Scott, and the ball is not even there. The official missed it.
A very big break for Pittsburgh. Eddie Leopard comes in to attempt the field goal from the 29-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard attempt. Leopard did not miss a kick this season, either a field goal or an extra point. Flags are down, 2 of them. The kick is good, but let's see about the penalty.
I think it was Pittsburgh offside, and I think they'll refuse it.
Well, it was 4th down and 7. Offside is the call. So do you want the 3 points, or do you want 4th and 2 and maybe go for it?
No, you take the 3.
Now I got to think
Absolutely.
at this point, it's too early. Sure.
Oh, yeah, I did that once.
White, decline.
You took the penalty one time?
I took the penalty. We turned around and fumbled on the first play.
Terrific.
At the 2-yard line.
And you went into the Hall of Fame, huh?
Right.
So Eddie Leopard puts 3 up on the board, and here again, the disputed play was Scott.
Well, I tell you, that in my mind, there's no question that there was contact made by Carlton Williamson before the ball got there. As you see, number 48 on Scott, number 47. Now watch the ball and watch the right hand. The official has a good view. Watch the right hand in contact right there, and watch Scott fall. You see right there, there's no question. But he missed it. And the end result is, instead of a touchdown, it is a field goal.
They get the field goal on a drive that started after the interception by the freshman defensive back, Thomas. Back deep, Hawkins for Pittsburgh. Artrell standing at the goal line. John Tanner does the kicking off. It's interesting. Tanner, they feel, is a better kickoff man than Leopard, who did not miss a place kick all season long. Tanner with a good kick. A couple of yards deep. Hawkins coming straight out with it to the 10. Artrell to the 15, the 20. Has some room to the 30-yard line. And ridden down at the 41. Gary Berger making the tackle, but Hawkins has put Pittsburgh near midfield.
Let's watch the left hand. I may be in error here whether it is the right or the left. The right comes out, then the left hand. Yes, the left hand here hits his ankle and trips him up. In any event, it was interference.
But no flag. So it's first down. Pittsburgh from the 41-yard line. And Dan Marino has come in at quarterback, number 13. They've been going with Tricano, but now Marino is at the helm. McMillan takes it out to the 46-yard line. Once again, let's go back and see exactly what you're talking about. The left hand this time. Keep an eye on it.
Watch the left hand of Carlton Williamson, number 48. And see whether or not it's that hand that trips up Scott. His left leg right there. Now there's contact there.
On second down, it's McMillan. Out to the 50-yard line, where Walt Gator, number 59, makes the tackle. And it will be third down and 1.
I'm wondering whether or not Jackie Sherrill has taken Tricano out because he threw that interception and put Marino in, or whether or not he's just splitting the time. Because Tricano was having a good night up until the time that he threw that interception.
Marino, remember, had been the starting quarterback, was injured, missed 3 full games, came back, played in the last 2, though Tricano did start. On third and 1, a strange call on a roll, and the pass complete to the 43-yard line to Benji Pryor.
Boy, that was, he took some risk there, I'll tell you, and he got it there for the first down. They had pressure on Marino. They had the coverage. Here it is. They fake a run action. Good call on third and short. He goes for the big play. Now he can't find anybody. He's getting heat there from number 80, Phil Ellis, and he gets it to Benji Pryor, the leading receiver on this football team, finally brought down by Pat Bowen.
First down, Panthers at the South Carolina 43-yard line. Marino, again, the fantastic protection. Throws, has all the time in the world, to the 35-yard line. Complete there to Willie Collier. What a job by that offensive front for Pittsburgh.
Isn't that the truth? He had all day to throw the ball. There's no way a secondary can stay back there against a good passer and expect to do any covering. He had just too much time. Great job by the offensive line.
Dombrowski comes in with a play, the tight end. It's second down and 1. Panthers at the 35-yard line. Marino missing 3 full games, still compiling those numbers for the season. And they give it to McMillan, looking for room to the outside. Gets down to the 30, and it's a Panther first down with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first half. Ed Baxley and Harry Skipper coming up to make the stop. Report from the bench. There's no problem at all with Fricano as far as an injury is concerned. Jackie Sherrill just contending that Marino is in there right now for a change of pace, if nothing else.
Well, they said yesterday that Marino is really throwing well. Both of them were throwing well. They've had great practices here.
On 1st and 10, it's McMillan who gets to the 24-yard line. Chuck Allen making the tackle. Jackie Sherrill concluding his 4th season at Pitt. Remember, he took over following Major's departure for Tennessee after Johnny had guided Pitt to the national championship in 1976, the year Tony Dorsett won the Heisman. Flag is down on that last play. Sherrill is going to have another penalty assessed against the Panthers, and Jackie's getting very hot.
Look at that record, 38-8.
Illegal procedure. Again, too many men.
Too many men in the backfield that time again. Must be pretty thin in there because it's difficult to see.
So it's the second time Pitt has been penalized for that same infraction. It's 1st and 15 as Marino drops back again, rolling, and before he gets blindsided, has Dombrowski complete to the 14-yard line. Again, when you get that much time, somebody's going to eventually get open.
Fricano does not want to run. His knee is not fully healed. He doesn't want to scramble. He just kind of rolled out semi to his left that time. And, of course, threw the football. He got pressure that time from Province, number 70. But he got away from him, and you're right, Al. Gosh, he's getting an awful lot of time.
Marino, perfect thus far on this drive. 3 out of 3. Has guided Pitt to the 14. Panthers leading 10-3. 3:41 to go in the half. Artrell Hawkins cuts back the other way and gets to the 8-yard line. Picking up 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Phil Ellis, 80, making the stop, along with Harry Skipper, 26.
Hawkins coming into this game had only carried the ball 45 times for 123 yards.
And in a way, a surprise starter tonight because they have been going with Joe McCall. McCall is not injured, but Jackie Sherrill electing instead to go tonight with Artrell Hawkins as the second running back to complement McMillan. 3 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first half of the Gator Bowl from Jacksonville. Pitt 10 and South Carolina 3. The Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Al Michaels with Ara Parseghian, Steve Davis. The Pitt Panthers on top 10-3 and threatening again as they're at the South Carolina 8-yard line. 2nd down, 4. Dan Marino at the helm for this drive. Sends Hawkins in motion and gives the ball to McMillan, who gets to the 5-yard line. Randy shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. Hal Henderson, number 81, made the stop for the Gamecocks. 2 minutes, 55 seconds remaining in the first half. 3rd down and that much, about 1.5 yards, just outside the 5. First down for Randy McMillan. Ed Baxley making the tackle. What appears to be a first down. We'll wait officially to lay on file with 2:37 remaining in the first half. Maybe not now. It looked like McMillan had sneaked forward enough to pick it up. But they're going to spot it, as you can see, at about the 4.5.
Yeah, I thought too.
And bring it in. Yeah, it looked like he had it.
Yeah, like you. I thought he had thrust maybe 1 yard past the.
They have it anyway. Nope.
No, he didn't get it.
4th and an inch. Or 2 or 3. And they're going to go for it. Wayne DeBartola comes in at fullback. Number 31 making his first appearance. They're split backs this time. It's Marino himself lunging forward and should have it.
Yeah, I think he's got plenty of forward progress.
Marino on a keeper. They only needed 3 or 4 inches, and he has it by plenty.
But the Gamecocks are hanging tough in there.
Remember, South Carolina very tough, as Georgia found out, to move against down deep.
Yeah, they put on several great goal line stands.
Well, they need one here because we've got 2:28 to go in the half. Pitt leading by a touchdown. First and goal from just inside the 4. Marino throwing, touchdown. Willie Collier, number 4. Boy, they really mixed their plays up well.
They really did. They weren't going to take any chances. They'd watched that film of the Georgia game, I'm sure. The tenacity of the South Carolina defense. They went right to the air. Well-executed play to Collier, and a touchdown. Here it is again, just a quick loft ball into the corner. Collier's there. Bridges is behind him and unable to cover it.
Dave Trout attempting the extra point out of the hold of Dan Daniels. And Trout's kick is good. So the Panthers with Marino leading the charge this time. Down the field, Danny completed 4 out of 4 for 39 yards on the drive.
You know, I think Mark Bridges on that touchdown back there was looking for Collier to cut. He was looking for a move, and already Marino had put the ball up in the air, and he didn't know where it was and couldn't recover quick enough. Here it is right here. He just steps right back and lofts the ball right here, and I think Bridges was looking for him to cut. And he's behind him, and he can't get back to get there when the ball is there.
The Panthers on top 17-3. Willie Collier scoring the touchdown. Senior. Recruited Collier from Georgia. Interestingly, a number of the Panthers from the Georgia-Florida area coming up at halftime. Interviews with both coaches. Chevrolet Coaches of the Year Award. Take a look at both fans and review the highlights of the first half. Hit on top. The numbers on the scoring drive. After Tricano had played to that point, Danny Marino coming in and driving them downfield in 5 minutes. The kick angled toward the 6-yard line. Out to the 10 is Carl West. Flag is thrown as West comes out to the 27-yard line, but a marker down back at the 15. And a clip will be assessed against South Carolina. Dominique Glassengame, number 35, was the guilty party.
Well, South Carolina certainly doesn't need to make an error down here. There's 1:58 left. They're behind by 14 points. And I wouldn't think they'll take too many big risks down here.
It's not the type of team that has an offense that can really take a lot of risks in this situation.
That's exactly right. Al, they just are not a catch-up.
Flipping on the red team on the run back. First down.
First down at 7.
Watch the left upper part of your screen and see if you can pick up the clip. Number 35 right there. Definitely on, yes, exactly. Right there, without question. A good call by the official.
Dominique Glassengame. So first down from the 7-yard line. And George Rogers is stacked up in the middle.
It looked like Boyarski was in there, number 68, and Meisner.
If South Carolina thought about launching a drive here, too, keep in mind they had to use 2 of their 3 timeouts on that earlier drive. As a consequence, they have only 1. What we might see instead is if they can limit South Carolina to a yard or 2 on this next play, you might see Pitt take a defensive timeout with 1:30 to go in the half.
Exactly. Get that ball back in good field position with the passing attack they had.
Second down and 9. Rogers on a sweep. George gets it out to the 11-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 6. Hugh Green in on the play, number 99, along with Jerry Boyarski.
I think this would be an excellent time to call timeout. Stop that clock with 1:04 left. They've got 2 timeouts left.
But the Panthers not stopping it, and the clock running down. 52, 51, 50 seconds remaining in the half. 3rd down and 6 from the 11. Gillespie in motion. Rogers again to the 20 and out to the 24-yard line. Ricky Jackson made the stop, so I guess Sherrill knew exactly what he was doing. When you've got Rogers on the other side of the line, maybe you shouldn't take a timeout, huh?
That's exactly right. In this particular case, look at this hole and watch Rogers go through there and really launch his body. He really just gives everything. You've got to be careful. He's just liable to pop out of there when you least expect it, and certainly South Carolina needs it.
George with 94 yards in the first half. Shade under 5 yards to carry. This should be the final play of the half from the 23-yard line. Instead, Harper's going to go deep, launching a bomb, and incomplete and nearly intercepted, and a flag is thrown at the 45-yard line. Flynn back deep for Pittsburgh. Horace Smith was the intended receiver.
Pass interference on the defense. First down.
Interference. I think they threw the flag on Terry White, 23.
Let's see if we can pick it up here. Horace Smith, number 44, Terry White, 23. Oh, he takes a pretty good shot at him right here. That elbow right in the face. Let's see if he does anything else here. Now, there goes the flag right there. The official caught it.
11 seconds.
So 11 seconds remaining in the half. South Carolina moving out from deep in its own territory. And time now still for a play or two from the 45-yard line. Up they come in their basic formation. Harper going over the middle to Scott inside the 30, inside the 20, inside the 10, and he gets to the 1-yard line, but there's no time remaining in the half. The clock has expired. Unbelievable play. What a play. Willie Scott almost had a touchdown, and what a difference that would have made, but time has run out. So Scott gets all the way to the 1 with a great second and third effort, and the half is over with a score 17-3. Pittsburgh. Let's go down to Steve Davis with Jackie Sherrill.
Coach Sherrill, those Gamecocks don't quit.
I don't think anybody's going to quit in this game. It's an awful lot of riding on it. I was very impressed with the way they're hanging in there, moving the ball. They come with a no-huddle offense, and it's forcing us to stay in one defense. So naturally, they're running a sweeper all over the line of scrimmage, and they've done a great job of had a whole month to prepare for us, and they've done a great job of knowing what we're going to be in.
Coach, it's a 14-point lead. Say everything stayed the same, and the ifs happened. Georgia got beat. Florida State got beat. Is a 14-point lead enough to make everybody remember Sunday when the votes go in?
I'm not worried about that. I hope we can keep a 14-point lead, because the game is certainly going to be a different thing the next quarter, because they get the ball at the start of the third quarter. The first 5 minutes is going to make a big difference in the game.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Steve.
Back up to Al.
All right, Steve, so the half ending on a most dramatic note. South Carolina looking like they were simply content to run out the clock and almost wind up with 7.
Great play here by Scott. Harper hits him, and watch the running. He really runs with authority. There is one tackler there. Then I think it's Flynn misses him. Now he's going. Terry White finally, no, it's number 3. It's Lynn Thomas finally gets him down before he gets into the end zone. Here's an isolation on him. He comes off the line of scrimmage here. Just 11 seconds to go in the half. Now, you take these two things. There was interference on Scott on one other occasion, and here he just missed the score. Right there, he shakes off number 23, Terry White. And look at him run, 250. A score here would have been really something for the South Carolina Gamecocks, but unfortunately they're just short, and the score is 17-3 instead of 17-10.
So the Pitt Panthers up on top by 14. We'll be back with tonight's halftime activities after this commercial message and a word from our local station. Number 44 for South Carolina, flanked by Carl West and Percy Reeves, as South Carolina will receive to begin the second half. Dave Trout kicking off for the Panthers.
He got that ice off that leg.
Had that ice pack on his left leg earlier. Discussing it with Steve Davis. Nothing major. And away we go in the second half, and he booms this one. Deep in the end zone. Horace Smith downing it there, and Carolina coming out at the 20-yard line. Gary Harper, the quarterback, with George Rogers and Johnny Wright. the running backs. Gillespie and Smith alternate. They're the messengers at the flanker spot. Gillespie 45 and Smith 44. The two men up front, and of course, Willie Scott, number 47, coming up just short of picking up what would have been a very big touchdown at the end of the first half. First down, South Carolina from their own 20-yard line. They begin the second half with Rogers, who slips down at the 18-yard line. The Panther defense, there he is, Hugh Green, runner-up for the Heisman. Greg Meisner, number 86, occasionally eats worms, they tell us. Jerry Boyarsky, number 68, the middle guard. Bill Neal is a good one, number 76. And Ricky Jackson doesn't get a whole lot of publicity because of Green, but had a good first half. Second down, 12 from the 18. Rogers out past the 20 to the 24-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 6, and Ricky Jackson there for the stop. There's Sinceri, who was shaken up in the first half, one linebacker, and Fidel plays the other side. The secondary with Terry White, the cornerback. Number 23, Lynn Thomas saves the touchdown with that tackle on Scott. Carlton Williamson, an exceptional strong safety, and Tom Flynn at the free safety spot. 3rd down, 7 from the 23 as Harper retreats. Coming to the near side, and nearly has it picked off by Fidel, number 58. If Steve gets that one, Pitt has another 6. Ben Cornett was the intended receiver.
Man-to-man coverage on that time, and a good rush. Harper had to get rid of the ball quickly, and Fidel almost picked that off.
So South Carolina to kick. It's Chris Norman, who, as you can see, has met with non-success tonight. A 21 and a 28-yard effort on his 2 tries. This one is a low kick, his best distance of the night. Fielded at the 35 by Dawkins, who's off balance, and all the way back to the 20. Tries to pick up some blocking and returns it on to the 27. Donnie McDaniel made the stop, but Dawkins got caught going the other way after a 42-yard kick.
Got his momentum going the wrong way that time, didn't he? He lost about 10 yards before he could regain it.
Roy Riegels lives. The Pitt backfield and receivers with Tricano. McCall did not play in the first half. We saw a lot of Archwell Hawkins. Collins and Collier, the wide receivers. The men up front, Benji Pryor anchoring it. And, of course, that is the group that has protected both Tricano and Marino so well. And it's Tricano who gets the call at the start of the second half. First down from the 27-yard line. The fake to Hawkins. Tricano on a roll and throwing out to the 41-yard line, but incomplete, intended for Benji Pryor. Take a look at South Carolina now. They've got Phil Ellis up front, number 80, a sophomore. Andrew Province is a good one. He comes from Savannah, Georgia. Emmanuel Weaver, good first half, had him isolated from time to time. Chuck Allen has started every game the past 2 years. Hal Henderson, 6'2", 210. Second down, 10. Panthers from their own 27-yard line. Tricano rolling left. This time he's pressured. Runs out of the pocket. Has some room. Out past the 25, the 30, and all the way out to the 38-yard line. And a first down as Emmanuel Weaver ran him down.
Good scramble. Emmanuel Weaver was a tight end. This was a tight end in junior college. Moved to the nose man. You see Grimm is blocking him here. Finally throws him off. Starts to the right where Tricano was. Now he starts pursuing as Tricano scrambles clear to his right. Look at this speed coming down. This is a tight end. Kind of neckties him here. Gives him the clothesline right here. You got to be careful with that, but he makes a great job of pursuing.
First down, Panthers from the 38-yard line. Off the play fake. It's Tricano with time. Throwing, deflected, and intercepted at the 37-yard line by Harry Skipper. So there's the turnover that Carlin is looking for, coming early here in the second half. Skipper picking it off on a deflected pass. Troy Thomas initially was the man who got his hand on it.
Way to go, boy! It's a key turnover because Tricano was moving the football team. It was a deflection and a great recovery by Harry Skipper.
So 13-18 to play, third quarter. The Gamecocks have the ball. They trail by 14.
A bright red fire truck.
South Carolina has the ball after the Harry Skipper interception at their own 40-yard line. 1st and 10. Pittsburgh leading 17-3 early in the 3rd quarter. Johnny Wright picks up about 3. Let's go back and take a look at the interception again.
Tucano faking the run action pass. Throws to the crossing end. There the ball is deflected by, I believe it's number 25, Bowen. And then picked off by Harry Skipper, number 26.
Deflected twice. Also, Troy Thomas got a hand on it.
Thomas also got a piece of that. The ball was bouncing around. It finally wound up in the Gamecocks' hands.
2nd down, 7. Harper under pressure and incomplete. Nobody in the area. Carlton Williamson was the man who put the pressure on and got a piece of the ball on the release. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Let's isolate on Hugh Green, 99.
Pass attempt by Harper. Here he is deflecting Scott, number 47. Now here he comes as a delayed rusher. He puts on a real rusher. I think that's Rogers they're trying to block him. Rogers and Green. Great.
3rd down, 7. Jackie Sherrill, coach of the 3rd-ranked Pitt Panthers, 10-1 coming in. The only loss to Florida State, currently ranked 2nd. 3rd and 7 from the 43. Gillespie in motion on a sweep to Rogers. George to the 45, but wrestled down by Green at the 47-yard line. So the 1 and 2 and the Heisman right there together, and he's shy of the 1st down.
That's a good example of the Pittsburgh speed. Boy, they really ran with them. The whole Pittsburgh defense ran with that sweep. So all those shirts coming right with Rogers.
4th down, 2.5. Chris Norman to do the kicking. Got off a 42-yard effort on his last group. Julius Dawkins back deep for the Panthers inside his own 15-yard line. Norman with a high kick, not much distance. Fielded up at the 26-yard line by Tom Flynn, and he's dropped out of the 31. Tonight, 72,297, eclipsing the old mark by 8 at the Gator Bowl. The old mark set in 77 when the Panthers came in, beat Clemson handily, and Matt Cavanaugh, now, of course, for the New England Patriots, threw 4 touchdown passes that night.
This is well attended, and they really support their teams.
26-yard kick by Norman. So the Panthers are not pinned deep. Instead, they're out at their 31-yard line, 1st and 10. McMillan, 35 to 40, and Randy to the 45-yard line, gets 14, where Chuck Finney makes the stop.
Chuck Finney seeing a lot of action here, filling in for Harry Skipper, who's been moved over to free safety to replace Baron.
1st down, Panthers. Turcano, the quarterback. Marino was in for 1 drive, led him to a score. Draw to McMillan to the 50 and to the Gamecock 48-yard line.
You can see what's happening off of that formation, the double wide out, double wing wide, I should say, with 2 tight ends. Turcano reads the defense. South Carolina, after talking at half, I'm sure, is deploying now to defend the pass, and Turcano is audibilizing, running the draw play, slipping McMillan to the inside until they come back up again, and when they come back up to defend the run, he's going to go to the air again.
2nd down, a long 2 from the South Carolina 48. Slot prior to the left. Turcano on a roll. He'll keep inside the 40 and to the 36-yard line. And a 1st down. Ed Baxley, number 50, catches up with him there.
That was a great piece of blocking. Here's Baxley, number 50, the linebacker. A very quick 6'2", 225, running with the play because Turcano had really the corner. It was well blocked, and it was only after he picked up a lot of yardage that Baxley got there. Benji Pryor threw a great block.
1st and 10. The Panthers at the 36-yard line. Dombrowski in the slot to the right. And they give it to McMillan. Pickup of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Walt Gator makes the stop. This program, an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
You're watching WTAE-TV, Channel 4 in Pittsburgh.
One of the big stories tonight, punting. South Carolina unable to capitalize, averaging only 33.5 yards a kick. 3 poor punts and 1 decent punt by Norman. Second down, 6.
Little team with a pass defense.
Fricano, all kinds of time again. Tipped, and this time caught inside the 15 by Collins, who gets to the 10. So another volleyball play, but this time it's Pittsburgh that takes advantage. Benji Pryor was the first man to get his hands on it.
Great hand reaction here by Dwight Collins, a freshman who's run for 770 yards with receptions. Look at here. He tips it with his left hand, comes back down, grabs it again. And now here we take a look at Weaver again on the pass protection. We see here Grimm and Fada doing a job this time on Emmanuel Weaver, who cannot even come close to getting to Tricano. He's just frustrated now.
First down, Pittsburgh at the South Carolina 11-yard line. McMillan to the outside and can't turn the corner. Wrestled down by Mark Bridges, coming up from the corner.
Good fast support by Bridges. Came right up and shut that play off. I'll tell you, the formation distortion that, see, we got an injury here. This Henderson going out. But Pittsburgh is giving South Carolina a lot of different defenses or offensive formations, which creates defensive coverage problems for them. And they're audibilizing at the line based on the alignment. They're doing an excellent job.
Al Henderson, the defensive end, limping off. Paul Williams in place of him at second down. And flags go down again before the snap.
Interior movement in the line, I believe. Yep.
Illegal procedure, the call. And then another 5-yard penalty assessed against Pittsburgh. Panthers were penalized 6 times for a total of 48 yards in the first half.
But the penalties have come in the crucial field position areas.
Yep.
Illegal procedure. The line lifted.
Yep. Offensive line picked their hands up off the ground prior to the snap.
So second down, 17. Carolina now with 5 defensive backs. As Tricano barks the signals from the 18-yard line. Rick pressured this time. And incomplete. It was Phil Ellis who put the pressure on.
No one picked him up at all that time. One of the few times that they've been able to get to Tricano. They didn't sack him, but certainly he made contact with him and destroyed the pass effort. But no one picked him up. Ellis came free from the left defensive end. Watch him right here at the top of the screen as he puts pressure on. Mark May, number 73, picks up the tackle. Nobody there to pick up Ellis, and he destroys the pass attempt.
So third down and 17. Pittsburgh at the South Carolina 18-yard line. 8 minutes, 39 seconds to go third quarter. Pitt leading 17-3. Tricano. Out of the pocket he comes. Hits Dombrowski at the 15. And he bowls forward down to the 9-yard line. Chuck Finney makes a stop. But it will be 4th down and 8. And so Dave Trout will come in to try to tack on 3 more.
He kind of used good judgment that time. He did not have anybody open deep. He had 3 receivers down there. And he just dumped the ball off to Dombrowski, and at least he did not avoid getting a field goal attempt.
Trout and an angle to the left. Ball will be spotted by Dan Daniels at the 16. A 26-yard kick. And Trout puts it through. So he's 2 of 2 field goal attempts tonight. 2 of 2 extra points. 8 minutes exactly to go in the third. 20-3 Panthers.
Nobody has to tell me to get on the stick. With the wide stick, I don't waste time or money. See, Speed Stick deodorant is so much wider than the other leading stick. Gives you effective protection in just a few strokes. And if you've been using an aerosol, look, you'd use up 2 3-ounce sprays and start a third before you'd use up 1 2.5-ounce Speed Stick. So get on the stick.
Makes sense.
Speed Stick deodorant, the wide stick.
By Melon.
I've been thinking about the...
The Pitt Panthers on top 20-3 with 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter of the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. And Pitt to kick off. Back deep, Horace Smith, the man in the middle, flanked by Percy Reeves at the top, Carl West on the bottom. Dave Trout to kick off for the Panthers. To the near side to West from the 1. Carl out to the 10, the 15, and dropped at the 21-yard line. First down for South Carolina. And a very tough situation for a team that really lives and dies with its running game. They have to go to the air now with under 8 minutes to play in the third quarter, trailing by 17.
Yeah, it's very tough for a running team when they fall behind. This is what happened to South Carolina in the Clemson game. A couple interceptions and a great drives by Clemson. They fell behind, could not play catch-up.
Gary Harper, he's been in all the way at quarterback, going right to the air. On a roll to the left, he's under pressure, looking for Scott out of the 33-yard line, and makes the catch there. In a lot of traffic, he was blanketed by Steve Fidel.
And they're coming with a no huddle. Here's another look at it. Harper does a nice job here, and also Scott, he takes the ball right off the turf. It's a low throw. He makes a nice catch there.
So without a huddle, at the 33-yard line, first and 10 Carolina. George Rogers, a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. South Carolina very effectively utilized a second quarter drive in which they did not huddle, and they're doing it again here as Carolina trailing by 17. Working against the Pitt Panthers, still very much with national championship aspirations. On second and 7, Harper on a deep drop, throwing, tipped, and intercepted out at the 49-yard line by Steve Fidel. He's to the 45, and back he comes to the 40. So the running team has to go to the air, and on a pass intended for Gillespie, Pitt is in business again.
Well, you certainly can't fault Gary Harper. He did a nice job. He threw the ball right in there, went right through Gillespie's hands. Watch this. And Fidel picks it off with good hand reaction. Right there, Gillespie's got it. It was out of his hands. Look at Fidel come back and do a nice job of fielding the ball. And for a linebacker, runs it well.
The Pitt Panthers at the 41-yard line, first and 10. There he is, Steve Fidel. Intercepting the pass, setting Pitt up in good position as Benji Pryor moves to the right side of the line, the tight end. And it's Archell Hawkins getting to the 40. Again, if you joined us late, the Panthers ranked third in the country. If they win tonight, if Notre Dame can beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl on Thursday, and if Oklahoma can beat Florida State in the Orange Bowl, and Oklahoma is favored to do so on Thursday, then in all probability, it would be Pittsburgh winding up on top. And certainly they have done nothing tonight thus far to diminish their chances.
And they've played very well.
Second down and 10 from the 41. Solcano, he's not going to be conservative with the 17-point lead. Has a man wide open. It's Collins inside the 25, and he gets to the 23. The freshman from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Joe Namath's hometown. Having a couple of words here with Walt Cater, the linebacker, 59.
Collins is a former running back. Finally was moved over to the wideout because Pittsburgh lost their two split receivers in their first ball game. Collins was forced into the ball game. He's from Aliquippa. And, you know, it's fantastic. He had 777 yards. That comes to 32.5 every time he caught it. 10 touchdowns.
First and 10 from the 23-yard line. Give it to McMillan, who has room inside the 20, breaks the tackle, and gets to the 12-yard line. The Pitt Panthers starting to blow away the Gamecocks now as Chuck Finney made the stop. 5:43 remaining in the third.
And you can see great blocking. McMillan gets a good hole here, gets good blocking. He reads it well also. Reads away from Gator, number 59, and just excellent running on the part of McMillan.
Panthers at the 12-yard line. They lead 20-3. Collier and Collins both split to the right this time. DeBartola in is the sole running back, 31. And Turcano's going to keep it. Fricano inside the 5, gets to the 3. Ed Baxley made the tackle.
Again, confusing the South Carolina defense with their formations and change of formations. They wound up with a wing and a tight end to the same side. When the wing was actually 2 tight ends to that side, Fricano just took the ball from center. With good blocking with the guard pulling, Veda, and around the corner they went for positive yardage. They are a good football team now.
The only loss of the season at the hands of Florida State in Tallahassee on a turnover-prone evening for the Panthers, who take a timeout here, their first of the second half. 4 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the third quarter at Jacksonville. Pittsburgh 20, South Carolina 3. 4 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Pittsburgh on top 20-3, and after the timeout, it's second down 1 at the 3 of Carolina. As Fricano calls the signal, sends Hawkins in motion and gives the ball to McMillan straight ahead, and McMillan is close and in for the touchdown. Randy McMillan culminating a drive that began after the interception by the linebacker Steve Fidel. Emil Boris and Mark May, the Outland Trophy winner, the best interior lineman in the country, leading away for McMillan. 26-3 Panthers. So the Pitt Panthers feeling somewhat snug that they were not invited to a New Year's Day game. Really turning it on tonight. Brown's extra point is good, 27-3. I'll tell you, if there's ever been a great argument era for a national championship playoff, this might be the year.
Well, certainly there's been so much balance in college football. Let's take a look at the touchdown. McMillan lined up deep. Look at the thrust and the determination, and he gets in for the score. Get back to that question again. I've never seen better balance in college football than we've had this year. And certainly, I've been an advocate of the national championship playoffs. Unfortunately, they've never come about. It's a very difficult thing to pull off. The bowls are traditional, and it's one of those things that in the years that I coached, I used to try time and time again, but unfortunately without success.
You're going to have some wild arguments if Pitt wins here, if Georgia loses, Florida State loses, and Pitt will say, well, we're number 1. Oklahoma will say, well, we're number 1. Michigan might even say we're number 1 if they win the Rose Bowl.
Well, there's one thing there, Al, is that both Michigan and Oklahoma they do have 2 losses.
Right.
And I think that's significant, and if you're going to go, and I think most of the pollsters do that.
That seems to be the main criteria. Stroud's kick in the direction of Smith, coming out from the end zone to the 5. Morris to the 10, 15, and that's all. So Carolina, again pinned deep in its own territory. Good kickoff coverage displayed once more by the Panthers, who have really excelled in just about every facet of the game tonight.
I'll tell you, they're a well-balanced football team. Of course, the number 1 in the nation defensively. Here's Rick Fricano, number 8. He's had a great night.
Hello, Seattle boys, Grandma!
They wanted this one.
First down from the 15-yard line. And Harper drops back at the 6. Bill Neal and Carlton Williamson. Williamson, the safety, blitzing in.
They went right after him with a blitz, anticipating that they're going to throw the ball, and there just was no protection. Just really ripped them. Watch here. Harper has very little time. This takes a little tailback action to Rogers. Very weak fake there. Look at the pressure that he gets. There's Hugh Green, number 99, then coming from the outside, number 48, Carlton Williamson, and also Bill Neal.
Loss of 10, second down 20 from the 6. Rogers tries to give them some breathing room, but there is Ricky Jackson, number 87, and Ricky's going to run him right out of here to the Georgia border.
Well, I'll tell you, Jackson really impressed me in the Penn State game. He just played an outstanding football game, and I think that with Green and Jackson and Boyarski on the front line, along with, of course, Meisner and Neal, they're just tremendous.
Want to hear an interesting statistic tonight? Ricky Jackson has made 10 tackles unassisted, 4 assists. That's 14 he's been in on. Hugh Green, 3 solos, 1 assist. 4.
I think he had 18 in the Penn State game.
3rd down, 18. Jackson and Green tied for the lead in most tackles this season. Of course, a lot of teams ran away from you.
That's true. That's very true.
Harper, he'll get decked, and it's Williamson again, number 48. Jackie Sherrill thinks he has 6 players that are going to wind up being drafted in the first 2 rounds in the NFL draft next spring. He might be absolutely right.
Oh, that's right. He's high on his football team, and certainly looking at him. You look across that front line offensively, they're just incredible when they'll be coming to the field again. You're talking about guys 280, 266, 275. Just huge. And they're well coached. He's done a great job with them.
Chris Norman to kick it from his own end zone. Just a lot of pressure. A low kick. Some confusion as to who's going to make the catch at the 35. And Troy Hill makes the catch and is able to hold on. So the Panthers are right back in business in what has been a very one-sided third period. And again, you revert back to that one play at the end of the first half. If Carolina scores, maybe we have a different game. But they didn't, and so with 2:10 to go in the third, it's Pitt on top, 27-3. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the third quarter at the Gator Bowl. The Pitt Panthers with the ball at the South Carolina 35-yard line. Pittsburgh ahead 27-3. Now, Rick Fricano has played the entire second half, and off the play fake, he's going to get buried, but then he finally does after it looked like he might escape. Pat Bowen coming through, number 25.
Now you see now South Carolina is willing to take some chances. They're behind. Instead of zoning off, which they have done most of the ball game, they went to man and blitzed him. Guessed right, Fricano was trying to throw, and they could not protect him because no one picked up the blitzer.
Loss of 10. Back to the 45-yard line. Second down. 20. Rooster Jones in as the tailback, and there is Jones, number 2, moving ahead to 3 yards. Jones is an interesting story in that Pitt was really interested in recruiting Jones, number 1, from the state of Mississippi 4 years ago. And then when Jackie Sherrill and the Pitt coaches started looking at film, they kept seeing this fella from another team in Jones's backfield. And that man was Hugh Green.
Yeah, right.
So Jackie said, who's this guy? We got to get him too. And they wound up with both of them.
Was it Natchez?
Yep. Roosters from Pascagoula. Green is from Natchez. Out of the shotgun now. On 3rd down and 17, it's Fricano. To McMillan on the screen. Hurdles one man. Inside the 30, the 20, down the sidelines he goes for 6 more. Randy McMillan stepping over Pat Bowen and then doing a tightrope back down the sidelines to put the Panthers up on the board again to make it 33-3.
The screenplay. Watch the 2 backs there off the shotgun switch. McMillan comes from the right side to the left. Beautifully set up screen. Watch the blockers peel back. He does a good job of avoiding Bowen there by hurdling him, and now he's home free. 4-5 in the 40, 2:26. Not too bad.
Dave Trout for the extra point, and he's been perfect tonight. So the Pittsburgh Panthers leading 34-3, which, interestingly enough, was the final score the last time the Panthers won the Gator Bowl 3 years ago when they beat Clemson 34-3.
No, but this one isn't over yet.
No. The Goodyear Enterprise high above the Gator Bowl, captained tonight by Mike Fitzpatrick from Newport, Rhode Island. Our cameraman up there, Charlie Mitchell. Crowd of better than 72,000, and it's been relatively quiet because, as we said at the outset, because of the proximity of Columbia, South Carolina to Jacksonville vis-a-vis Pittsburgh. The crowd dominated by Carolina partisans, but it's been very quiet, especially in the second half, with Pitt on top 34-3.
This has been an outstanding quarter, certainly, for the Panthers.
The Hula Bowl coming up on the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports from Honolulu on the 10th of January. The East against the West, and Green and Rogers will be together with the East. Mark Herman will be the quarterback. The West will be led by Phil Bradley, the quarterback from Missouri. Jarvis Redwine, Freeman McNeil will also be there on the 10th of January. Horace Smith fielding it in the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So South Carolina from the 20. There's McMillan. Randy closing out a fine career. Pitt is as I mentioned before, a team dominated by seniors, yet they do have a number of very impressive freshmen. So next year, you can't expect the Panthers to be nearly as good as they were in 1980, but maybe another year down the line, and Jackie could be right back with them.
Well, he was talking about some outstanding freshmen and sophomores that he had as we were talking to him yesterday. And
Harper finding Gillespie out at the 38-yard line. And he's tackled there, and a first down for South Carolina.
Well, they're not backing off. They're putting the ball up in the air, and that was a well-executed play to Gillespie by Harper. He is throwing the ball well. You can't fault him. There were a couple of very important turnovers that certainly turned the tide in this, a couple of breaks that went Pittsburgh's way. But this third quarter is unquestionably one of the Panthers. They've done a great job in this quarter.
South Carolina at the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Harper, and it's incomplete. Carlton Williamson was covering Horace Smith on the play.
I think he just threw it away. He wasn't open, so he just used good judgment, got rid of it. Still 9 seconds to go in the third period.
Panthers on top by 31. So Jim Carlin, no stranger to the Gator Bowl, when he was the coach at Texas Tech, led the Red Raiders in here in 1973 to a victory over Tennessee. But a different story tonight for the 60-year mentor.
He's been a winner, though. Look at the career record. 101 wins, 62 losses, and he's taken over losing programs. He's done a great job.
6 years at Carolina, before that at West Virginia and Texas Tech. On 2nd and 10, going deep, and Smith was out in front of Lynn Thomas, but the pass incomplete. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 with 3 seconds to go in the period.
Well, that was an effort. Harper's thrown the ball better than I thought he could. He had that ball in the air a long time. Here's a nice shot of Tricano there.
Cleveland. Hello, all you Seattle boys.
What's he saying?
Rick Tricano getting in.
Merry Christmas.
Salutations to those in Cleveland, Seattle, blanketing the country. Quite a fella. The quarterback as a sophomore, part of his junior year. This year, he didn't want to be the backup quarterback to Marino. Started the season at free safety. 3rd down 10 from the 38. Harper. And again, it's incomplete. So 3 straight errant passes. And the third quarter has run out. We'll go to the 4th with the score. 34-3 Pittsburgh. And we'll continue after message and a word from our local station. At the Gator Bowl, Al Michaels, Ara Parsegian, and Steve Davis as we begin the 4th period. Pittsburgh leading 34-3. And they're going to get the ball back as Carolina on 4th down will have to kick. Chris Norman takes the low snap and gets the boot away. It's another bad one, a low line drive kick, but it's juggled. And a scramble at the 26, and Carolina gets it back. So a break for Carolina on the first play of the 4th period. Tim Lewis, the man who couldn't hold on to it.
Well, it probably have been better served if he hadn't tried to field that ball. It's a low driving type kick.
First down, Gamecocks now at the 26 of the Panthers. Pitt leading by 31, and Gordon Beckham comes in at quarterback, giving it to Rogers. And George picking up close to 8. And Rogers seeking another 100-yard game. He had 21 consecutive coming in. As you take a look at Beckham, the quarterback, the man that Steve Davis mentioned earlier, if Harper had not gotten off to a decent start tonight, Beckham would have been in earlier. I don't think a lot of the problems that Carolina's had tonight, though, Eric, could be attributed to Harper.
Yes. Oh, no. Absolutely. Of course, the reason Beckham is in here, of course, I think he was going to use him, and of course, he feels that maybe the game's out of sight and wants to give him some experience.
Loose ball, but The whistle may have blown it dead beforehand. Rogers wrapped up by Bill Neal.
The thing I was going to say about Beckham, I think that Jimmy Carlin was very high on him. Comes from Atlanta, Georgia, but he had a back problem and was throwing off balance. Now here's the stats, and you can see the tremendous job that Pittsburgh did in the third quarter. They only had 177 yards at the end of the half, and you can see the accomplishments there, while South Carolina remained relatively stable as far as yardage was concerned. They hardly made anything in that third period.
Pitt with 152 yards and 17 points in the third quarter. Third down and 2. Beckham pitching it to Rogers, has some blocking out in front. George gets inside the 15, but loses the ball, and Ricky Jackson recovers at the 9-yard line. And appropriately enough, what a way for that man who has played 4 years in the shadow of Hugh Green to end his career with a night like tonight on national television, really stealing the spotlight from Rogers and Green.
He's certainly deserving of it. They get good blocking here. You can see they're getting corner leverage. And you can see right here, Sinsteri comes over and hits him. Ricky Jackson makes the play, and Flynn was in there to cause that fumble as well.
So Ricky Jackson, number 87, the other defensive end at Pitt, has been the man tonight for the Panthers defensively.
Hokie, Florida.
Dan Marino comes in at quarterback now. Let him do a touchdown on one drive in the second quarter. Artrell Hawkins, the ball carrier, picks up about 7 to the 16-yard line. By the way, in that last drive, George Rogers, with that 8-yard pickup on a first down play, has now picked up 103 yards tonight. It's the 22nd consecutive time that Rogers has rushed for better than 100. George Rogers reflecting the attitude, the frustration that Carolina suffered tonight. Hawkins again, and he has a first down out to the 21-yard line. Well, that picture describes it all as far as the Gamecocks are concerned.
Yeah, it doesn't lessen a great career. He's done a tremendous job. You know, and this is one of the things about this game of football. You have your ups and your downs, and you can bounce them back after a disappointment. I know that they certainly would have liked to have finished his career with a win, but certainly he's given great effort and had the misfortune of fumbling a couple of times.
Marino from the 21, going deep and incomplete. There was some contact made again, but no flag as Dwight Collins was down there. And it will be second down.
Dwight Collins running the fly pattern right straight up the field, doing a little weaving here. Here comes Marino's pass. Let's see. It looks like there might have been a little contact there. Of course, you can't see from the angle there. Ball is thrown. Well, it's been a tough catch on him. He's getting coverage there by both Thomas and Skipper.
Second down, 10. Look at Rogers, the peaks and valleys of December for George. Wins the Heisman at the beginning of the month, and in the Gator Bowl at the end. Second down and 10. Pryor, the tight end, makes the catch on the near side, and he has a first down. Troy Thomas taking him out of bounds.
You think he's not a good football player? He's come up with some great plays, and I'm talking about Benji Pryor during the course of the entire year. He's had a great career at Pittsburgh. He made that key touchdown pass against Penn State, and that, you know, Penn State demonstrated the kind of team they are.
Benji Pryor, another of the Pitt seniors. We were talking about how senior dominated they are. One man who will be back, of course, is Marino, who's quarterbacking the team at the moment. Danny, just a sophomore, one of the best in the country. It's tipped and incomplete. Getting a hand on it was Walt Gator, number 59. You know, last year, the Panthers, with Marino taking over halfway through the season at quarterback, starting to tout Dan for future All-America honors. Of course, he was hurt midway through this season. A great baseball player, drafted by the Kansas City Royals. Marino, of course, will have the job back next year, suffering the knee injury early this season. Second and 10. Hawkins gets a yard or so. Phil Ellis making the tackle. Hit anything but buttoned up, Aaron, despite a 31-point lead.
Well, you know, This is an important win for them. Of course, they've now got to count on a number of other incidents to happen, one of which is the Fighting Irish to beat Georgia, because Georgia will win it going away if they win that Sugar Bowl game.
3rd down and 9. Marino flipping it out to Hawkins. Hawkins out past the 45, has a first down and gets to the 50-yard line. Paul Williams made the tackle.
Beautiful executed quick screen. The line just set perfectly. They let the rushers go by. They set out to the wall. It was a beautifully executed play.
First down at the 49-yard line. 11 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the game. The Pitt Panthers leading South Carolina 34-3.
And I think we have to admit that an impressive victory here would influence the pollsters depending on what happens in the rest of the bowl game.
Marino to Collier. And another first down. He's out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Harry Skipper ran him out. Of course, the Sugar Bowl, you'll see it on ABC this Thursday. Georgia, Notre Dame. Our producer, Chuck Howard. Director, Andy Sedaris, will be there. Keith Jackson. Frank Broyles will be on hand. By the way, I want to pass along our congratulations as you take a look at the matchup on Thursday. Larry Cam, a man who's directed, of course, several of our games over the years. He and his wife, Claire, proud parents of their first baby.
Oh, that's terrific.
Baby girl, Lauren.
He's a Northwestern man, you know. He was in school when I was coaching there.
The glory years at Northwestern. Can Denny Green lead them back? New head coach. First down to Pitt at the 37-yard line. Marino on a straight drop. Wide open, and so wide open was Dwight Collins that he forgot about the ball.
Marino absolutely was standing there without the necessity to scramble, move, or anything else with all his time. There he goes. Turns to the inside. Collins is right there. Great receiver. So he looked away. You see him look away just as the ball got there. You know, the first fundamental, catch the football and run. I'm telling him he can fly. I'll tell you, he's a great one. He's going to have a great career at Pittsburgh.
2nd down and 10. At the Carolina 38-yard line. Marino to the air again. Going deep, looking for 6 more, and incomplete. Collins, the intended receiver. And no interference was called.
Well, you see the speed that he has right here. He's a fantastically and a great jumper and leaper as well. Harry Skipper is in coverage here, number 26. Let's see whether or not there's contact made here. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Had a few non-flags tonight, haven't we?
Oh, no. They're allowing a little contact downfield.
Hey, Russ, you think you might call one today?
3rd down and 10 at the 38-yard line. Hawkins inside the 35 and wrestled down to the 32-yard line by Walt Cater, the linebacker. Jackie Sherrill. This will be his 39th victory in 4 years.
Well, they're going to go for it here. 4th down, 5.
That's pretty good. Jock Sutherland was there, of course. Johnny Majors.
I'll tell you, you know,
coached at Pitt.
He's 38-8. This will make it 39-8. That's a fantastic record.
Timeout is called with 10:18 to go in the game, and the Panthers on top comfortably by 31. The Pitt Panthers on 4th down and 5 at the South Carolina 32-yard line will go for it out of a shotgun with 10:18 to play in the game, and Pitt on top. And instead of a pass, it's Marino to kick it out of the short punt formation. And Danny Downing it at the 8-yard line. So Marino, well, he might not be able to scramble as well as Fricano, but he adds another dimension.
Isn't that something? A little bunt punt from the shotgun. They were just trying to pin him down. And he was mad at himself because he had kind of popped it up in the air, and he got a favorable bounce, though.
So they down it at the 8-yard line. Do the Panthers after a 24-yard kick by Dan Marino, and South Carolina from the 8. Gordy Beckham, the sophomore quarterback. Rogers is on the bench. Percy Reeves is the I-back. And Reeves gets buried by Carlton Williamson. Carlton Williamson, number 48. You know, it's funny. So much of the attention is focused on Green. You've seen what Jackson can do tonight, of course, number 87. And this man, 48, has been all over the field, Williamson.
41 tackles coming in and 5 sacks, number 48. But you see, a lot of these guys have played together. Terry White's a senior. Williamson is a senior. And Lynn Thomas is a senior. The entire defensive front is a seniors.
On 2nd down and 14, pickup of a couple for Percy Reeves, a junior, out of Irmo, South Carolina. And Ricky Jackson chalks up another tackle. The Gator Bowl trophy hit against South Carolina, and that'll be going back to the land of the Allegheny, Monongahela, in Ohio. Well, the Steelers had their problems this year, and the Pirates couldn't repeat, but the Pitt Panthers continuing in the tradition of the City of Champions. Beckham's pass is deflected, and then out to the 20-yard line. On the deflected pass comes Tommy Smoke, and run out at the 21.
Let's see, you've got an illegal receiver, Steve Gattell. Let's see what happens here. Beckham throws the ball. It's batted back.
That's Meisner.
Meisner tipped that ball back, and of course it becomes a free ball. It's eligible to go ahead and move the football. It's been touched by a defender, and just like an interception by anyone.
I'd like to see that one diagrammed, huh?
They put that in.
First down, South Carolina from the 20-yard line. Beckham rolling and still looking and throwing across the green and finding Scott, who gets out to the 32 and a first down. And Ricky Jackson makes yet another stop.
Not a bad little scramble by Beckham. Threw the ball off balance, moving to the right. Here's our friend, Randy Jackson. Comes back to coverage to his zone. I'm sorry, Ricky Jackson comes back to his coverage. And watch him react after the pass completion. There he is, involved again. Boy, he's a good football player.
First down, South Carolina, out at the 34-yard line. Clock running, 8 minutes, 22 seconds to play in the game. Panthers have it well in hand on top 34-3, and George Rogers re-enters the game. George Rogers wrapping up a fabulous 4-year career in a blocking role here as Beckham is under pressure, and down he goes. And who else? Ricky Jackson, 87.
Watch him come underneath here. As he comes rushing, comes inside of the end, and rushes as a contained man. Looks like Rogers blocking on him, but he misses him. He goes inside of Rogers. He comes back and fights into Beckham. There he is, bringing him down again, preventing a scramble. Not what you'd call a picture tackle, but he got him down, threw him off balance.
Boy, as he closed the season with a flourish. He was the MVP in the Penn State game.
That's exactly right. I think he had 18 involvements.
Second down and 13. Beckham going over the middle for Scott, and incomplete. Well covered on the play, and Tom Flynn very nearly picked it off, number 5. So it'll be third down. You know, it's funny, if Ricky Jackson plays in another school, and those people would argue and say, hey, what do you think? You know, Hugh Green is the only defensive end in the country. You should see our guy. But he had the misfortune, I guess in a way a misfortune, only because he lacked all of the attention that Green got. But we've all found out about Ricky Jackson tonight, for sure.
I thought it was funny when you asked Jackie Sherrill yesterday. We'll get to it right after this play.
Third and 13. Beckham. He's dropped at the 23-yard line. Jackson was not there. That's a scoop. Instead, Bill Pizzoli, number 63, and Bill Moss. Let's find out what Jackson did on that play.
Let's see what he was up to here. Is this Gillespie? No, that's Horace Smith, number 44. He keeps him from going down and being a pass receiver. Oh, yeah, he's in good shape there as far as his keeping him in front of him, delaying the receiver off the line.
Kick is Chris Norman. Under pressure. And another bad boot. It bounces back and is picked up at the 31-yard line and run inside the 20 to the 15 by Ricky Jackson, who plays on special teams. There have to be 9 guys out there wearing number 87.
Oh, he is something else. Going back to what I was talking about, Tom Flynn, you remember yesterday when you asked Jackie Sherrill, because Flynn plays free safety. I don't think he's hurt. Plays free safety, and you said, are you good? And he was a quarterback in high school, and he asked him whether or not he was going to play the quarterback next year. Here's Jackson coming in. There he comes in here on the punt rush, and another Stepanita blocked it. There he goes, chasing after the ball.
And an 8-yard punt winds up with the ball. As it came back the other way. So Tricano and Marino have done the job offensively. It's been Jackson defensively, and it's Marino in there right now giving the Wayne DiBartola as they go to the second string back, and he takes it to the 13. They've got DiBartola and Jones as the running backs.
DiBartola is a junior, 5'11", 207. So he's back next year.
Second down and 8. Jackie Sherrill going with a mixture of first and second stringers right now. Going with his second line backfield. Marino looking for another score, but throws this one away.
What's he going to throw?
Rooster Jones, the intended receiver. It's been that sort of a night for South Carolina. George Rogers, though, he did pick up over 100 yards for the 22nd consecutive game.
Well, I think he did I think he did a good job considering the ball game. He's a great football player.
Third down and 8 from the 13-yard line. Marino going over the middle and incomplete. Fire that one through the hands of Julius Dawkins, number 80. So Dave Trout will come in to attempt the field goal. They had 3 more. Trout's already kicked 2 tonight. And he's been perfect on his 4 extra point attempts. They'll spot this one at the 20-yard line. And an angle. Trout, 30-yard effort. And Dave's kick is good. So he's kicked them from 25, 35, and now 30. 5:32 to go. The Panthers lead 37-3.
When you're searching around for investment ideas, it's easy to lose your bearings. What appears to be a profitable trend can be here today and gone tomorrow. But even when there seems to be no place to turn, Merrill Lynch has an uncanny ability for matching your goals with fertile investment advice that makes us what we are. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
From design studio model to tough new trust, Chevy Love. Chevy's light utility vehicle is totally redesigned with a slick new shape that parts the air and contributes to better mileage ratings than last year. Plus a smooth new ride, the longest available cargo box in its class. More cab room than last year and a new instrument panel. Tough Chevy Love, also available in 4-wheel drive. Chevy trucks, built tough, built for economy.
New Year's Day on ABC. Notre Dame sets their sights on upsetting Georgia as Herschel Walker leads the #1 team in the country towards a possible national championship. The Sugar Bowl live on ABC.
Back at the Gator Bowl, where the crowd of 72,000 has really thinned out because the outcome of this one is not in doubt. 37-3, the Panthers on top. Horace Smith has just run back the kickoff where South Carolina out to his own 40-yard line, and the Gamecocks start from there on 1st and 10. Gordon Beckham, the quarterback. George Rogers on the bench, and apparently done for the night is Beckham. Throws over the middle, complete out to the 45-yard line, and wrestling his way into Panther territory is Willie Scott, who's tackled, of course, by Ricky Jackson, number 87.
And the last time I looked at the field goal, Ricky Jackson was in the wingback position blocking.
That's exactly where he lined up. Returned the punt, lined up as a wingback to block on a field goal.
And then
he's been all over the field. Ricky Jackson, you talk about, you know, Green is obviously going to be a first-round draft choice. What about Jackson, though?
He won't be far behind, I'll tell you that.
Boy. First down from the 49-yard line. Beckham throwing out to the 36 and picked off there by Carlton Williamson, the other man who's had a stellar night defensively for Pittsburgh. So that's appropriate in that defensively the night has belonged to Jackson and Carlton Williamson coming up with the interception. 4:46 to go in the game, a 34-point Pitt lead.
RCA wants you to see the right color. Does your television automatically capture all these subtle shades of blue in this ocean of color? Color Track 1981 can. With RCA's exclusive detail processor, Color Track separates detail from color, refines it, then locks the right color on track. Even colors only subtle shades apart. Color Track 1981. RCA is making television better and better.
Oh, Mr. Goodwrench, can I get a tune-up?
Sure can.
What's that?
Your written estimate.
Mr. Goodwrench wants you to know in advance just about how much the job will cost. He has the GM training and tools available to do the job right.
Gee, that's reasonable.
Mr. Goodwrench knows our customers don't like surprises.
Keep that great GM
Where Mr. Goodwrench works.
with genuine GM parts.
Looking down at the Gator Bowl. The night has belonged to the Pitt Panthers, and their third quarterback of the evening is in now, Dan Daniels, who backs up Tricano and Marino. Pitt was just assessed a penalty for illegal motion. They have the ball at their own 33-yard line. Second down and 13. Dan Daniels, a sophomore from Coraopolis, Pennsylvania, operating the Panther attack with 4:24 to play, and it's Steve Bartola, the fullback, taking it up to the 37-yard line. Coming up January the 10th, the day of the Hula Bowl, also our season premiere of the Pro Bowlers Tour, beginning this year in Southern California from Anaheim. Live at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central, and then you'll see it at 4 o'clock Pacific following the Hula Bowl. The Pro Bowlers Tour getting underway again. Third down and 8. Daniels has this one intercepted at the 40-yard line by Pat Bowen. Bowen inside the 20, and down he goes to the 14-yard line. Pat Bowen, number 25, coming up with the interception for South Carolina.
Third interception for him. Sophomore. Daniels just throws the ball right there to him. Didn't wait till the receiver came open. And of course, Bowen just picked it up and ran it back very nicely.
Carolina at the 14 of the Panthers. First and 10. Pitt leading 37-3. Beckham for the end zone as a man wide open, touchdown. Tim Gillespie. So Carolina with a bright spot in an otherwise nightmarish second half.
Well, I guess that's why these fellows that are in there right now are second team and third team. They're allowed to score very quickly. They're wide open, too. Tim Gillespie catches a touchdown pass. He just broke down and broke to the outside to the corner, and nobody was there. Here he is turning out. There's no one there. Someone obviously missed their coverage.
Eddie Leopard into attempt to point after. He made all 42 this season, but not this time. Eddie Leopard has it shunted away, and so they settle for the 6 with 3:26 to go in the game. 37-9 Pitt.
I learned to drive in an old Model T that belonged to my dad. We counted on Pennzoil to take care of the engine. Today, Pennzoil does even more, because now it saves gasoline. Pennzoil has added gas savings to its...
Trailing 37-9, and the Gamecocks just attempting an onside kick, but recovered by Dombrowski of the Pitt Panthers. So Pittsburgh in possession of the football at their own 47-yard line with 3 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the game. The Panthers dominant tonight. Led 17-3 at the half, scored 17 unanswered points in the third quarter, and lead now 37-9. Dan Daniels, the quarterback, giving it to DeBartola. Pulls his way into Carolina territory, picks up about 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Carolina scoring. Took Beckham just one play. Gamecocks. It's been a mediocre history for Carolina football in the past. Nothing really special. Then Carlin came in. Got things turned around. Went to the Hall of Fame Bowl last year. Gator Bowl this year. Haven't won a bowl game in 4 appearances. But I have a feeling under Carlin, Carolina is going to be no stranger to future bowl participation.
Well, Al, you know, you've got to admire him because he led them to 2 consecutive seasons that brought 8 victories to the Gamecocks. No other coach had ever done that at South Carolina. Turned the whole program around. Of course, we have penalty here.
Delay a game.
You know, as a former football coach, I can only tell you these things happen to you. You come into a ball game, and there were a lot of ifs in here. But coming in at the top, we knew that they were going to have difficulty going against the #1 defense in the country.
2nd and 10. And the ball carrier, Brian Thomas, his first carry of the night. Ed Baxley making the tackle. And it'll be 3rd down and 10. I want to thank statistician George Hill, our spotter, Kelly Hayes. Great work, fellas, throughout the year. Special thanks to a fellow by the name of Tom McHugh, our audio engineer, working his last show tonight. He's been in the business for 44 years. Retiring. Heading on down to Fort Myers.
Get him, bro. Get him.
Thomas taking it down to the 48, where McQuaid makes the stop. And George Rogers, South Carolina.
Guarantee you that there'll be better days for George as he moves into the next level, which is professional football.
We'll be seeing George on a few more Monday night games, I'm sure.
You bet, and he'll be smiling. There's better days ahead, George. You know, you also got to take your hat off to both Johnny Majors and Jackie Sherrill for the turnaround that they have provided to the Pittsburgh team. You know, when I was at Notre Dame, they had a lot of difficulty. They just couldn't seem to get anything going, and of course I got out just at the right time. Dorsey in there, we played a couple of years against him. I think we got out at the right time because they've turned this entire program around. And both John Majors got it started, and Jackie Sherrill, this will be his 39th win, I think, against 8 losses. I think it's an incredible turnaround.
Pitt taking a delay of the game penalty, but that time on purpose to give their opponent a little bit of extra room. And it's taken up at the 50-yard line, and coming back the other way with it is Bowen to the 27. So the game ragged right now with a lot of 2nd and 3rd unit people in there.
Now, Pittsburgh has their 2nd unit in, 2nd and 3rd unit in defensively. It's like ball is deflected and partially blocked.
That's their 2nd unit punter, Ganser, instead of Hepler doing the kicking to begin with. And a 16-yard effort, with Bowen bringing it back to the 27-yard line. Beckham intended for Scott and incomplete with 1:12.
They never looked back for the ball. Beckham hit him in the heel, didn't he? Hit Reeves in the heel. I don't think that he even was looking for the football. He faked the action to the inside.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. So the Pitt Panthers dominant tonight. Ricky Jackson, Carlton Williamson having a tremendous night. Able for the most part to neutralize George Rogers, who was unable to break one. So Rogers once again up over the 100-yard figure. 2nd down and 10. Beckham to the air. And in and out of the hands at the 9-yard line. Number 44, Horace Smith. It'll be 3rd and 10. Interesting, the two Heisman people, the winner, the runner-up, Green, Rogers, some similarity in their background. Most of you know the story with George growing up. His father was in prison, raised by his mother, taken from town to town, lived in 8 different Georgia towns. Green grew up fatherless. Mother died when he was 6 years old, raised by an aunt and an uncle in Mississippi. Two fellas capping their collegiate careers tonight. Beckham back to pass. And incomplete with 59 seconds remaining in the game. Dwayne Chivers, the intended receiver. So 4th and 10 for Carolina with under a minute to go. Hugh Green, for the record tonight, wound up with 4 solo tackles and 1 assist. They were, for the most part, running away from him, despite what Jim Carlin had said yesterday. 4th down and 10. Carolina from the 27-yard line. And flags down. The illegal procedure, the call against South Carolina. So Green winds up with 4 solos and 1 assist. Unofficially, we had only 7 plays recorded tonight that went to Green's side of the line. And, of course, a lot of times they'd go the other way, and so Ricky Jackson had
illegal procedure, red team.
A call from the referee Carpenter. So Jackson was the man who had the tremendous evening with 14 solo tackles and 5 assists and a fumble recovery and a 16-yard punt return. And a nice block on a field goal attempt. Going deep and tipped away. Incomplete. Intended for Gillespie, and Tom Flynn was right there with 52 seconds remaining. So Pitt gets it. Carolina loses it on downs, and the Panthers are on top 37-9.
Economy cars. There sure are a lot of them around. But check out their sticker prices, and many don't seem quite so economical anymore. Fortunately, Chevy Chevette isn't like most economy cars, because not only does Chevette offer good gas mileage, like this, it also offers you a low Chevy price, like this. So why buy an economy car that just saves you gas when you can buy a Chevy Chevette, best-selling small car in America, and one top son of a gun?
Here's to good friends. Tonight has gotten special.
So long, fellas. Hey, Jim, how you doing? I'm hot, cold, thirsty. Call me a cab. 10 minutes, I'll have you back at the lodge. I can't make it. 10 minutes, I'll have you back at the lodge drinking a Lowenbrau. I can make it.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Where would I be without you guys?
Probably still out there in the snow somewhere.
Back at the Gator Bowl, the clock running down with 15 seconds remaining in the game. Pittsburgh with the ball.
Delay, white team.
Another delay pen. I think that's 4 tonight, which may set a record, but who cares if you're the Panthers right now?
They rush at the right time.
So the Panthers coming up for what should be the final play of the game. Dan Daniels, the quarterback, and the night has belonged to Pittsburgh, but we have another flag, so perhaps not the final play of the evening, even though the clock continues to run. Now they've stopped it with 9 seconds to play. They have named...
Third down. You don't want to recline it.
They've named George Rogers the Carolina MVP tonight. 27 carries, 113 yards, and they've selected Rick Tricano in a consensus vote as the
illegal formation,
head MVP.
White.
The call, the illegal formation. See, you always forget about those defensive guys, right?
Oh, they sure do. I'll tell you, Ricky Jackson, in my mind, played a great game.
Well, look at Rogers, and Daniels just running out the clock now. And that will do it. As the Pittsburgh Panthers win the 1980 Gator Bowl and do it handily, do it impressively. At worst, they will wind up third in the country, and now they'll sit at home and root like crazy for Notre Dame and Oklahoma. Final score, 37-9, Pittsburgh.
You know, for business insurance, Fireman's Fund fits almost everyone, large or small. For example, it helps insure the mighty Boston Symphony and Manchester Music, Pet Incorporated, and Fridley's Crossroads Store, even Sunkist Growers. So for your business insurance, ask your...
Game, Tony.